Hello, and welcome to our spoiler episode of Modern Escapism, where we'll be discussing the Zack Snyder Justice League. I am your host for this special, it is I, Stig, and to help me on this epic journey, I have enlisted my own crack team of Cape Crusaders. First up, we have the clown prince of podcasts himself, it's Oodles.
Tell me, do you bleed?
And joining him is a man who fights the evil forces of coughs, creaks, and background noises well into the dark of night. It's the editing knight, Gadget.
What's my superpower? I'm rich.
So first off, if you haven't seen the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, then pause the podcast right now, watch all 4 hours, and then come back and listen to us discuss it.
We'll see you in 4 hours, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Right. You back now? Great. So, we are going to delve into Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, for those of you who don't know, this came about because after Zack Snyder had directed Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, he began his Justice League project. But due to some tragic personal circumstances, he stepped down from the project, and Warner Brothers brought Joss Whedon in to finish the project off. And what we got was an absolute mess of a film. If listeners will have heard Gadget ranting about this 2017 Justice League way back in our early episodes.
Just edited as an editing piece, it's just...
Yeah, it's an absolute mess of two different directors' styles, studio interference, loads of changes, and basically this caused a bit of an uproar with fans. And they've been pushing for Zack Snyder to release his version, and eventually HBO Max and Warner Brothers teamed together and decided to let Zack finish his version off. And here we are.
Better or for worse.
Yes. And this is where we're at. We now have the full 4-hour Zack Snyder Justice League as he intended it to be released. And we're going to discuss it.
Yes, we are.
If you have seen the film, which I hope you have, you'll notice that it's in 6 different parts and an epilogue. And originally I was going to break down the whole film, then come back and discuss the film with between us. But then I realised that doing that would probably take up most of the runtime, because it is a long film.
Yeah, it is.
So we're going to go by part. I'm going to give a rundown of the part, and then we'll discuss what happens in that part and our feelings about that section. But before we get going, I just want to know first what your initial thoughts are on the film. So, Oodles, just give us a quick rundown on how you feel about the film after seeing it.
I genuinely believe this is what the film should have been. Now, am I going to sit here and say this is the best film ever made? No. Is it a good Justice League film based on the characters available? Yes, I think it is. Genuinely. Yeah. There's some choices I don't like, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, and yourself, Gadget?
I'm currently petitioning The Hague to have Zack Snyder tried for crimes against humanity.
And I'm somewhere in the between. So we've got a great... Some great opinions going on here, I think.
Good dynamic.
A good dynamic, that's the word I'm looking for.
Good job I'm here, guys.
Yeah, it is. Right, so we are going to start off. I'm going to run through part 1, and then we're going to have a little discussion on that.
Yeah.
So part 1 starts with a recap of Batman vs. Superman. We see Superman dying, and it sends a shockwave around the world that wakes the mother boxes in Atlantis, Themyscira, and Cyborg's cupboard.
Yes.
We see Batman travelling over the mountains to a remote village where he's looking for the Aquaman. He has a discussion with Aquaman, who tells him to get lost, basically. Next up, we see Martha standing at Clark's grave, and we see her leaving the farm and find out that it's bank-owned and it's now up for sale, and she's lost the farm.
Yeah.
Up next, we see Lois. She's visiting Superman's destroyed statue, and we find out that she's been going there daily. We cut to London, where some terrorists take over a museum. They have a bomb which they plan to set off, but they're stopped by Wonder Woman. And then we're back to Themyscira, where Steppenwolf arrives with some of his parademons, has to fight the Amazons, chases them down, has another fight with them, but then eventually escapes with the first mother box. Right, so introductions to the characters of Aquaman and Wonder Woman there. I didn't particularly enjoy this first part. I thought the introductions of those characters weren't very good, and the fight in Themyscira was a bit of a mess. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, this is the one bit of the film I'll say that's the most like the Whedon cut.
Yeah.
Like at least the most consistently the same scenes, kind of in the same order. I mean, the Aquaman intro is all right. You know, I quite like the kind of the back and forth when Bruce is talking to the town leader, and he knows he's speaking to Aquaman, but it's just quite a nice little reveal there for if you are somehow unaware of Jason Momoa.
Yes,
imagine, yeah. The singing women, didn't get it.
That was weird. What was that about?
Too long.
I don't know why she picked up his jumper as well.
Sniffed it.
His jumper.
Well,
yeah,
I'd
really
probably
weird.
sniff his jumper, but that's me. I'm a perv.
It's not gonna smell like fish though.
It was just too long.
Yeah.
And then these Scandinavians started harmonising like fucking pentatonics. I'm like, fucking hell.
The thing is, I get what they're trying to say is like this like little village worships Aquaman because obviously he does a lot of good things
Because
for
he
them.
comes on the king tide.
Yeah, but the singing was weird. I don't. It's one of the there's a few scenes in this that I simply just don't get.
Same.
And I don't think it's a case of not knowing the background to the comic books. I think it's just a fucking weird choice.
That's got nothing to do with it. Aquaman in general on this has got nothing to do with the comic books.
I also find it really odd how Batman got there. Like
Horseback.
he's just traveling over these like.
There is an
These
off-the-cuff
huge
comment
mountains.
saying that that no one's flown a helicopter over the mountains for years.
Yeah, but it's like he's gone there on kind of horseback.
On horseback with not a lot of provisions either by the looks of things.
climbed down a sheer cliff face with the horse, which is an impressive feat by anybody's standard.
Come on, guys, he's the world's greatest detective.
But then at the end of the I can't remember if it's at the end of this part or at the beginning of the next part. Anyway, you see him land at an airport in a helicopter.
Yeah, in a helicopter. Yeah.
The storm's magically gone away. That's prevented him from flying.
Yeah, it's gash. It's proper. It's just absolute. I hated this.
Yeah, I get that he's
Genuinely.
Batman, but like, I mean, Batman is human, and those were some pretty horrendous like snowstorms that he had to.
Yeah.
What I do like, before we go any even further, is the Superman death cry, because that is a thing from the books, and it was predicted by Luthor. The bells will toll, and the death cry was like a bell, wasn't it? And
it went around the whole world.
Yeah.
What I didn't like with that bit though is Jesse Eisenberg standing in a CGI puddle.
That's shocking. It
What
looks
was
shocking.
that about?
It wasn't even wet.
No, he wasn't. It was like clearly obvious there was no puddle. Like, why is he not in water? Just put him into water.
Where was he supposed to be there? Because
In
I
Superman's
thought,
ship.
He's in the ship.
I thought though, right? I thought so. Yeah, it just didn't it didn't register me in the back of my head like where he was and why he was there.
He's in the bath.
No, he's there at the end of
Stood
Batman
up in his
versus
bath.
Superman. I think that's where
right.
That's where we first see Steppenwolf as like a kind of a on that communicator thing that they use. Like, yeah. So I mean, then Aquaman obviously he goes off as a little.
Yeah, it's not Icky Thump
Slow-mo
anymore, is it? When he
version.
runs into dives into the water.
Yeah, going back into just that initial opening establishing shot of when Bruce he comes out, he takes the goggles off, and then he kind of looks over the cliff. That didn't look right to me. Like the perspective seemed really wrong.
Well, the village isn't
if
there in real life, so
I gathered that. Like I gather he's not. They didn't have Ben Affleck on that cliff, and they weren't really looking over. That's all CGI. But I don't know whether it was like the 4:3 aspect ratio or just the way they'd done that CGI. But it just like as the camera pans around, like nothing's moving naturally, and it's just like I was watching that going, ooh, no.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I didn't like any of that bit.
I mean, we haven't touched quickly on the aspect ratio. Now, to start with, I was like, this is really odd. I do not like this because I'm not used to it. didn't bother me by the end. Like,
No, you forget about it.
after I
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was-
forgot about it, so it wasn't too much of a thing. There was a massive thing made about it, obviously, and I was like, "What the hell? Why the hell 4:3-ish
Isn't it
ratio?"
for IMAX cinemas?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
But
yeah.
why isn't there
basically
two
what-
versions, home version and a cinema version? Like they
Yeah,
did with Dark Knight.
I think what Snyder wanted to do was have because when you see a film in IMAX, generally speaking, most dialogue sequences are still filmed in like 16:9 or something
and you can
close
you can
to
see
that.
it fading, can't you, when it goes to the
Yeah,
action
and then the
shots?
action sequences are in 4:3, so they fill up that entire massive screen.
Yeah,
I think Zack Snyder wanted it all in to fit that massive screen. I think that would have been awful to watch it on a screen that size
absolutely.
because there is a lot of dialogue in this film.
It's a chatter. It's a chatty
Yeah.
film.
I mean, it's a fucking 4-hour film. There needs to be a lot of dialogue to
Yeah.
pad it out. But
all slow
I
mos.
think, like, I've only seen a couple of films in IMAX, but like, because you end up kind of sitting really back and kind of looking up above you and kind of stuff like that.
It was same with
I think-
Interstellar.
Yeah, I think that would be really distracting to watch all those sequences of dialogue like that.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
but I mean, like, yeah. By the end of it, I didn't
You
really
just forget,
notice it.
don't you?
It's like if you watch a box set of old sitcoms or something like that that
Yeah.
were made in the 90s, they'll be in box out like that anyway. So it's like it's jarring for that first maybe hour or so, especially
Yeah.
when the first couple of action scenes happen. And you're just like, ooh.
I would prefer the Dark Knight sequence where it transitions to it, and you can tell. I kind of like that because in my back of my mind, I'm like, oh, here we go, action time.
But also, I will say the handful of scenes from the Whedon cut that were kept in that weren't Snyder's ones. There's a couple of them throughout the film that are used as like connective tissue.
Didn't he say he used like 15 minutes of his cut?
Yeah, but they now look really oddly framed.
Yeah.
because they've been put into 4:3 because obviously they've been zoomed out to
Absolutely.
whatever the sensor was, the camera sensor. So it was just like it kind of makes it still very hodgepodge because some scenes are just framed wrong because you can tell the intention was for them to be chopped down into 16:9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And you
weird.
just end up with like the object, whatever the camera focuses on, in the middle, and then just a lot of kind of empty real estate or like nothing happening around them because it's not, the frame isn't being catered for. It's a very strange decision.
yeah. We'll move on quickly past Martha and Lois. Lois gets her little music intro, like everyone, with a little slow mo.
They're sad, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was. I laughed so hard when that slow mo intro came on for her.
I don't know why she's getting a slow mo. Anyway, we'll cut to London. Wonder Woman. Firstly, the Superman flag over Tower Bridge. Why?
I like that image. I think that's a good image.
I just didn't think that.
Isn't this film set though like a significant time after Superman's?
Yeah, it's
like it's not recent.
It's like 6 months.
Yeah, but I just don't even think that even the British
Think about
would
it, right,
stick a
Stig.
Superman
Think about
flag
it, right.
up across the whole of Tower
It's-
Bridge.
No.
It's also a really bad CGI thing of that
Oh,
flag
it looks
on
shit.
there.
But
Like,
think about it this way, right? If this world had a Superman living in it that saved us countless times from an alien force, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the collateral damage and the cost to Metropolis in general, but if he'd have saved the world from alien harvesting machines, he'd be the new Messiah, and he's dead, and everyone knows, so it's like...
Yeah, I get.
It makes sense why that's on Tower Bridge, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we see some terrorists break into
The black clad.
a museum and start killing people. Yeah, and then Wonder Woman shows up to
It's in the Old Bailey.
rescue the day. Now, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? Firstly, an English guy says we've got enough explosions to level 4 city blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. When stuff like
no
that,
blocks here.
no blocks here. We're in London. There's no blocks.
Yeah.
So that just made me laugh a little bit. But their intention is to just set this bomb off. So why is there a timer? Why are they even bothering? Why not just blow the bomb up? Why have they done all of this? It makes no sense.
Also, I mean, I'm not an explosives expert, but I'm pretty sure a suitcase full of explosives wouldn't be enough to level
I don't think
whatever
it would
the
be.
equivalent in America is. Isn't like 4 city blocks in America like a half a mile or something like that? Like it's quite a
massive.
significant.
It's massive.
And even if she threw it up in the air, surely the explosion would come down anyway.
Yeah, it's 3-dimensional as an explosion, isn't it?
Exactly, and blow the roofs and everything off. So yeah,
You're right.
I just did not like this scene
It's
at all.
stupid. I mean, they were saying like, "Oh, we're going to bring back society back to the Dark Ages." Why? By blowing up the old Bailey Courthouse? Why don't you go to the London Stock Exchange instead?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there is so much. Like, I did giggle, and I remember giggling in the original version, which is when she gets him in the lasso of truth thing. And he's like, "Who are you?" He says, "We're a reactionary terrorist force." Like, what?
Of course you are.
That just choice of line is just like you would think like a
It's
terrorist
honest,
would
though.
say. Well, it's honest, but you would say like, "Oh, we're from this group or that group."
We're freedom fighters.
Or yeah, something like that, because that's his truth. But anyway, aside from that, so she manages to disarm and knock out all of them, apart from the one guy
He then unloads his clip.
who then shoots at all the school children, and Wonder Woman does the very brave thing of like, using
Which looks
the
really
glaives that
weird.
she's got. Well, yeah, because it's that Zack Snyder transition from slow mo to fast mo to back to slow mo.
Yeah.
Also, they sped her up. She hasn't got that kind of speed.
Well,
No, that's what I mean.
if you've watched the Wonder Woman film, she just seems to get powers
she
from
does
wherever.
have super speed.
Oh,
in
is it
that.
Is it one of those
Yeah.
kind of situations?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so she does it. So she does all that. The guy starts to reload, and she murders him.
Yeah, she
By
does. She,
a
she explodes him.
Yeah, she explodes him by tapping the things together. Explodes him, destroys a big chunk of the building, showers the police down below with bricks and masonry and
And
shit.
blood.
So probably killed some police down below as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But basically vaporizes this guy in front of a
Yeah,
load of
can we
school
actually sit back, stand back, and remember that those gauntlets destroyed Ares,
Yeah,
the god of war.
Why did she need to use them?
I don't know.
Why did they not save that moment of her using the gauntlets for Steppenwolf?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I guess it's to show that she has that power, but it's an unnecessary use of it. It's like it's actually a really atrocious use of it, because then she turns around and she's like untying them all, and then you've got that little girl that says, "Can I be like you someday?" I'm like, "You don't
murderer.
want to be like her. She's just murdered a bloke."
She says,
Can I be 5,000 years old too?
You can be anything you want to be. I just wrote in my notes, except a fucking god.
Yes. Yeah, you weren't fashioned by clay by Zeus himself, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's in fact, my precise note for this section was, quote unquote, "Can I be like you someday?" Capital letters. Fuck off with this mawkish shit.
I hate that kind
again,
of stuff. I hate it.
That is something that's completely unnecessary. Like the terrorist attack thing, fine, have that as an action sequence. That was up until that point a pretty cool action sequence.
Yes, I agree.
She bashes some lads. She blows a thing up in the sky.
A lot of blood
and
splatter
then-
on this one as well, isn't there? Against the
Oh,
walls
yeah,
and stuff.
It's a lot more violent. I wonder if that sequence was put in there, especially with the fact that she killed him, to make that differentiation between what an Avengers film would be and what a Justice League film would be.
I agree.
Because they have no compunction in this film about killing people.
Well, Wonder Woman never did anyway. She's a
Well,
fucking
like
brutal.
Marvel heroes go out of their way not to kill somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we'll move on quickly to the last section. So we're back in the Mascara, and the Steppenwolf finally arrives with his parademons, and they fight the Amazons. Takes
He
them on the
looks
box.
atrocious. I hate the Steppenwolf redesign. I don't mind the redesign of his head, but the armor. It's the armor.
I think he
should have been
looks
a human
lot
anyway.
Better. I know, but I think he looks a lot better.
I think
than-
he's always looked terrible. He looks like some kind of strong super alien god, when in actual fact should have just been a really like a 7'5" humanoid with a lovely goatee, long black hair, and an helmet on. That's what he should have been.
I don't kind of mind his design, but his armor is a bit.
He looks
weird.
scarier, and he looks like Darkseid's boss.
His voice is a lot better.
I'll admit that.
I
You can
do
hear what
do you
he's
know what?
saying.
I do love that throughout the film. You know, when he portals in and out, that boom, like when he portals in and out,
boom tubes.
That was a really good like sound mix.
That's
like
what they're called as well, boom
It
tubes.
sounded really good, like when he did that. But it's the whole fight. Once that initial fight happens, and I forget her name. Sorry, Wonder Woman's mother's running out. They knock those wooden blocks out the way, which it just all looks really cheap. It feels like they used their CGI budget elsewhere in the film.
Yeah. Well, that's from the original cut as well, isn't it? That bit with the knocking.
Yeah. Huge chunk of that's from the original cut. The only thing I think they added in was
extra horses to throw around.
It was
it was up.
Yeah, there was
picking them up.
A couple of extra digital horses that unfortunately died. But
seen when he went in the ocean as well.
Yeah, when the rotunda collapsed in the ocean, that's new. But yeah, it's that looked like an Unreal Engine video.
It
like,
did,
it
mate.
Looked like
it did.
It looked very,
and not a new one
game-ish.
either.
Do you know what it reminded me of? Like, there's one point where she's riding a horse and it's like a head-on of her and then everything's happening in the background. It just reminded me of those old like 50s, 60s like films where someone's in a car, just sat, and they've got like something moving behind them. It just looked bad. I don't know why it looked so bad, but
it also did that thing which I think there's some of the Avengers films are guilty of this one as well, where the fight seems to be extended by a few sequences far too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking like when it's coming towards the end of it, when they're starting to get knocked off the horses, and then Steppenwolf is kind of catching up to them, and she fires the arrow into the box and pulls it along with her. It's like it's all these things that just keep extending the fight by another 30 seconds, and I remember getting to the point thinking, just kill somebody or fuck off. Do one of them. Stop extending it.
He's also strangely bigger when it suits the film. Like he can pick two horses up.
There's no scaling on him.
He can pick two horses up in that scene, but then when he's facing up against Superman, he's only about a foot taller than him.
Yeah.
I find that very odd.
Yeah, the without getting too far ahead, but there's the fight under Gotham Harbor. Like there's a couple of sequences where I think when he's torturing someone, he looks a lot smaller than when he's actually fighting. I wonder if it's the armor. I wonder if the armor jacks him up or something.
The armor does flex a bit, doesn't it?
The armor flexes with him.
It gives him high heels.
Yeah. So that's the end of part one. Steppenwolf gets away with.
For my money, is the worst part of the film.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah. So part two. Steppenwolf leaves and goes to what looks like an abandoned town next to a nuclear power station.
Chernobyl-looking place, isn't it?
Yep. Batman has a conversation with Alfred about the Flash and pulling his team together. The next scene, we're in the lab where Cyborg's dad, Silas Stone, works, and a parademon turns up looking for the second mother box.
Yep.
Back at Themyscira, we have the Amazons lighting the arrow to send out into the world of man to warn Diana that danger is here.
Yep.
She sees a news report on the burning arrow at work. Silas is in work the next day and is questioned about the empty box, which the mother box should have been in. But he goes home to have a conversation with Victor, aka Cyborg, and we find out that the mother box is there, which we did see in the opening section.
We did, yes.
Yeah. So Diana travels to Athens and goes down into the crypts. She opens up a secret door with the arrow, and inside is a mural about the mother boxes, Darkseid, and the war that happened before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a random moment with Aquaman saving someone on a boat. He has a whiskey, and then he takes his top off and goes back into the sea.
And he looks fucking incredible.
Yeah. Down in the ocean, he's confronted by Vulko, who tells him to take up his true position and warns him about the danger coming.
Vulko doesn't look incredible.
No. So he tells him to go to Atlantis and protect the box.
Yeah.
So Steppenwolf has a conversation with THAT over some funky metal-like communication devices they have about collecting the mother boxes and winning back Darkseid's favour. Diana goes to meet Bruce and tells him about the previous war with Darkseid. We get a flashback that shows a battle of men, Amazons, old gods, i.e. Zeus and Ares, the Atlanteans and the Green Lanterns coming together to fight Darkseid and his forces. We see Darkseid finally finds the anti-life equation, but he's defeated, and the mother boxes are split up between men, Amazons, and the Atlanteans.
Is this all in part two? That's a lot.
That's all in part two.
He doesn't find the anti-life equation. Oh, he does actually. Yeah, he does this early. Yeah, he does. Yeah, you're right.
Which?
Yeah, it's Steppenwolf doesn't find it. It's Darkseid.
Steppenwolf finds it later, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. And somehow forgets.
So this section really is all about kind of a little introduction to Cyborg. We get a bit of Steppenwolf's motivation rather than him just being I'm evil and I want to destroy things. We find out that actually he's doing it to win back Darkseid's favour.
He's trying to get back in
Yeah.
Which
After
I think is much better than the original film, because in the original film he was just evil.
Yeah.
I didn't mention Darkseid.
Yeah, granted that's now just moved up a level, because
Yeah, it's just Darkseid.
Darkseid is just evil.
Yeah.
Well, you know what he did to Darkseid to make him want to get back in his favour.
No, see, that doesn't get touched upon in this film.
Oh, yeah,
so.
I just knew it. That's so strange. It doesn't tell you why. Well, he murdered his mum. So,
Okay.
See, Darkseid, Steppenwolf has a bit of... It's weird, because he has...
Steppenwolf is Darkseid's uncle, by the way.
Darkseid's uncle, and he has,
Yeah.
like, real daddy issues.
Yeah, he does.
For his
yeah.
nephew. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Well, Darkseid wasn't the strength that he is now. But look, when he were fighting Ares and Zeus, he didn't have the Omega rays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't the man that the creature that he is today.
Yeah. So I didn't really have a lot to say about this section.
There was something that I really loved.
Other than Jason Momoa clearly has it in his contract that he has to take his top off.
There's an even better thing. There's an even better thing than that. Ryan Chow is the Atom.
Okay.
Yes.
That doesn't get even touched on other than...
It's because I'm a nerd and I know that.
Yeah.
He's the new Atom, by the way, not the original Atom.
Oodles is our resident DC
nerd.
comic reader, so he knows about this shit where I do not.
So the boat accident thing with Aquaman is fine. I mean, that was it. That was in the original as well, I believe.
Yes, it was in the trailers as well.
Yeah,
it was like a trailer shot.
The shirt ripping sequence, when shirt taken off sequence when he's on the dock. I wrote down at that one: make an action film or make a perfume advert. Don't make both.
Do you know what bothers me about this? Right?
It looks like a Davidoff Cool Water.
It really does,
or something, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because it's not just that it goes into slow motion, but it's like that ultra 1,000 frame a second slow motion as the water's crashing across his face.
It's just so stupid. It makes no sense why he would throw glass near the ocean and then throw shit in the ocean. Surely he loves the ocean. Why would he pollute it even more?
Why does he just keep taking his clothes off and throwing them away?
Why didn't he finish that whiskey?
The water?
He didn't finish that whiskey either.
But he starts that whole sequence being quite comfortable swimming around in the water with his shirt on.
Yeah, very odd.
It's not like he needs to get undressed to swim.
So you know, in Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi made Chris Hemsworth take his top off because he was just like, if Chris Hemsworth's in your film, you got to make him take his top off. Yeah. That's what it feels like with Jason Momoa. It's just like this guy is basically like built like a god, so we just need to show him off.
It's in his contract. He's going to do it.
Yeah,
he's got his tattoos out.
There's a sequence early on in this chapter which, in fact, it's about midway through. It's after the parademons tried to do the thing and killed a guy and then buggered off, kind of thing, and it's when OSI is investigating.
Yes.
And this was just, it's not really a plot hole or anything. It's just one of the boneheaded sequences, I think, that proves to me that Zack Snyder's not that good a writer.
Yeah.
But it's when OSI's querying Silas on what Star Labs is and what it does, after explaining who he is, what his government organization does, and what he's there to investigate, I don't buy for a second that that investigator wouldn't know what Star Labs is. Because if he's been sent to investigate something like that, he should know what is there.
Yeah, it's Star Labs is a public funded labs as well in DC universe.
Yeah,
it's not.
But within that universe, it's like they're a public company, but they do contract work for the government.
Absolutely, yeah. And
it's also quite famous that building is there that has Superman's ship in it.
Yeah, they got the fucking contract to look into it.
Exactly. So OSI would go. The OSI agent should go, oh, I'm going here. This is where Superman's ship is. This is where they do a lot of top secret research that we know about.
Yeah, I agree, mate. It's so weird.
Silas, what do you do here?
And they keep saying, this is Ryan. He's really into atomics and stuff like that. This is Ryan. Ryan!
That thing reminded me so much of The Dark Knight Rises, where you get at the very end, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. So how are you doing, Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did quite like, though, when Diana finds like the drawings and stuff of that. If you've compared that to Joss Whedon's version, it looks so much better. Joss Whedon's paintings look like a child drew them.
So the fact this moment is especially, this is basically because we needed someone for exposition when they all got together, didn't we?
Yeah.
This is the Themysciran version of, here's all the plot, and now Wonder Woman.
He's going to tell Batman.
He's going to tell you all. He's going to tell Batman, and once Batman knows something, it's down in his supercomputer.
I do love that it's shown on the news that there's this giant burning arrow in this temple in Athens, and it's like the news is on there. It's police cordoned off. Diana just fucking walks in.
It sneaks in like Carmen Sandiego.
She doesn't even sneak in. She's wearing the loudest high heels in the world.
I'm not being funny, right? If I was
there's two policemen that look like British police, not Greek police.
If I were a Bobby,
I
were a Bobby, and she went, "Can I just have a look in there?" and it looked like her, I'd be like, "Yeah, go on, love."
And this is why you're not a policeman.
Yeah, that's true.
But and then also conveniently, right next to that temple is some homeless guy's stand, which happens to have a can of petrol, some rags, and a 2x4 that she can make a very convenient torch out of. And then the last one, I mean, the last just stupid, and this is a technical CGI thing, but I love when she does the drop into the cave.
Yep.
Because I scrolled back on this one a couple of times. If you watch it, it's literally a still of her crouched slightly that they just drop down straight.
And the heels don't snap.
But yeah, it's just. It's not like it's a CG animated thing. They've literally just got like a fucking PNG and just dropped it down in Audition.
Weird.
Look, guys, he only got 70 million extra to make this. Come on, give the man some slack.
I think the problem is it's one of those ones where the film does a lot of over explaining of itself, but like this little sequence actually does have a lot of the narrative tied to it.
Yeah,
but you don't get any context around it. Like,
it's odd, right? There is one thing, but just disclaimer: I've watched this film 3 times. There is in this scene with all the hieroglyphs and the cave paintings. That there isn't a single word on there.
No.
How does she know the names?
Well, she can. No, but it's.
Do you think it's hieroglyphic language?
Yeah,
it must be.
It's a hieroglyphic. It's like runic or
it must be, mustn't
stuff like that. It's a language she can read. That's fine. I didn't mind that bit. It's just this temple, her turning up at it because there's no kind of indication that she's traveling anywhere. Like she just
underneath.
Yeah. Well, no. Like previous scene, she's in London.
Yeah.
And then she just rocks up in Athens.
Yeah.
Like it's a long way.
She does have an invisible jet. Remember?
Not in this point.
Well,
she does because she gets into Wonder Woman 84. Yeah. Okay, regardless of that.
So you can pack it anywhere.
But so I quite liked Steppenwolf's sort of conversation with Desaad. Kind of like we said, it gives him a bit more.
I'm just glad Desaad's in the fucking film.
Gives him a bit more motivation.
What is with Desaad's voice actor? It might as well be Niles from Frasier.
God knows.
I don't know.
It's so given the design of Desaad, it's just like the voice just doesn't match. It's very high pitched and a bit whiny.
I don't know why. This is me being nitpicking. But why is Desaad being the envoy of Darkseid when Desaad's the torturer for Darkseid? So
is that what he is? Is he?
Yeah, it'd be someone like Granny Goodness talking to Steppenwolf instead. So I think they picked him because he looks cool.
I do like the look of the communication device. I like the way it kind of just pulls itself out of the stone, and I think that's really cool.
Until
I tell you what it's called. That device.
What's it called?
The mother communicator.
Oh, fuck's sake! I like it a lot less now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they didn't name it.
It looks cool. I quite like the way that it looks.
One thing I do like, however, and I might as well point out at this point because Steppenwolf's in the right place. They dropped the family in Chernobyl storyline.
That's one of the best decisions they've done.
Yeah, having that place abandoned was so much better.
It just you didn't in the Joss Whedon one. I don't want to bog down too much in Joss Whedon, but you didn't need that whole what felt like a good 15 minutes of the film following that family as they were hiding in a shack.
We didn't need that peril. We didn't need that peril.
Yeah. So because apparently
power station.
Apparently the parademons can break into a secure lab with like probably high-tech walls and windows and stuff, but they could never break through a door to get this family.
They also got rid of the parademons feed on your fear. And
that was
instead
they feed on the energies and memories of the mother box, which makes more sense.
Yeah,
like
so then finally,
like sniffer dogs. Yeah,
for end of this thing, we get this big battle between all the forces of good,
which is fucking brilliant.
I really like this. It's got a bit of some of the CGI is a bit shonky. It's very dark. Turn up the lights a little bit, Zach, please.
Do you want a bit of an Easter egg as well?
But I'll just quick about what I did like is I do like that they, even though he's just CGI, they brought David Thewlis back as Ares. Like
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Actually had him as Ares rather than just being whatever random
they were good
person they could have put in.
The use of having the way he's designed Zeus, and it's just like, okay, so yeah, we're just reminding us that you did 300.
Now, that's what it looks like in the books anyway. Zeus
Is
looks
that what it looks like in the
Hercules.
books?
How you think Hercules looks, basically.
I'm very used to the more traditional way of Zeus looking. You know,
beard,
giant beard, hurling lightning.
Basically, looks like God. What people think God looks like.
Yeah.
Go on, Edith.
That look of it that they gave him just screamed going, I did 300.
Ares has got a bigger. Ares is bigger in the comics than Zeus anyway, and Ares looks cool. He always has. So the Easter egg, the lantern, which was Yalan Gur, that lantern that was killed. Did you notice how the ring escaped?
Zoomed off, yeah.
That would eventually go to Guy Gardner, the second Green Lantern. It floats around in perpetuity until it finds someone with a lovely ginger haircut.
Oh, lovely.
That's the Easter egg. But yeah, that's the actual the model for that lantern, which I thought cool.
I did quite like that when he defeated the lantern, though. He tried to grab the ring, and it was just
if he'd have grabbed the ring, he wouldn't have needed anything else.
Yeah, just zipped off.
I think as well, there is one shot in that I did like, which is after kind of Darkseid's been defeated and they kind of drag him onto the ship, and you actually see him kind of lying on the floor, like bleeding. And
like I say, it's before he was basically Darkseid at that point.
But it
shows his vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows a vulnerability, but it is something that you never really see with villains in superhero films, because when they generally get defeated, they tend to get obliterated into nothing.
Yeah,
but it's nice. I do like seeing a battle like that where the baddie loses and has to regroup.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think also just the way they did the special effects on him and the blood and all that.
It looks good.
I thought that looked
gory
really good.
Fuck.
And I do, for its faults, I do like Darkseid's design. I know he's a bit Thanos-y, and I know he's a bit.
Thanos is a bit Darkseid-y, you mean?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like they're all much of a muchness. I know there's a lot of similarities to a lot of other things within Darkseid's design, but I think it might just be like the tunic outfit that he's wearing. It might be the half helmet that he's wearing and that kind of thing. But I do like his design. I think it's maybe not as quite as iconic as Thanos, but I think it's got some legs.
I mean, in general, Thanos is a better nuanced character anyway. He's got more depth to his character.
I mean,
Darkseid is just evil.
Darkseid reminds me more of Apocalypse in the way it looks as well.
He's from a planet called Apocalypse as well.
Yeah.
I think
did Apocalypse come after Darkseid?
Yeah, way after.
Yeah, but I really like that fight. I thought it was pretty well done.
I did put in my notes as well, Darkseid's entire motivation is simply to conquer. He's literally the most basic antagonist ever made. At least Thanos had an ideology he was working from.
Well, that's Darkseid's downfall. Before he was called Darkseid, he was Uxas, and his downfall was his sheer fact he just wants to be a tyrant. He just wants to rule everything, and that's his downside. Because how can you be omnipotent and omnipresent when you physically can't be omnipotent and omnipresent? You can't, you know what I mean? You can't will it.
What I haven't said here actually was that this section also told us what the mother boxes are and what they do.
Yes, supercomputers.
When they come together and they align, they basically scorch the earth and all living creatures.
They're basically big RTX fucking graphics card things.
Yeah, they'll basically turn everyone into parademons, basically, right?
Yeah.
Humans turn into parademons. Weak-minded things turn into parademons. But like, let's say a metahuman like Superman would just be Superman, but under your control.
Yeah,
that kind of thing,
which we kind of see a little bit with.
Exactly.
Anyway, this bit made me laugh. So the boxes are all split up after the war. The Atlanteans and the Amazons put these things in some really secure-looking areas.
And what do the humans do?
Dig a hole.
Dig a hole.
They learnt nothing from Tolkien.
It wasn't even a deep hole by the looks of it.
Nah, we're about a foot down.
I literally can't remember. Did they get rid of that sequence where it looked like a fucking Lord of the Rings walking party digging a hole over it, or was that?
No, it was in there.
It's in there. They're all like
I don't
stood
remember
around.
being
Like,
in there because I remember laughing hard at it in the Whedon cut.
Well, they did
No,
exactly what they
so
did on
bad.
Lord of the Rings, and some went to the men. Don't give anything to man.
No,
We're
you
not
don't.
trusted with power.
I don't
We're not
understand
trustworthy.
why. I don't understand why Zeus wasn't given it.
Because there is a reason, but they don't explain it in the films. He doesn't believe himself petty enough to want to fuck about with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
I get
hubris,
the impression
basically.
that I get the impression that Zeus and Ares probably didn't want to really be involved. But
Yeah,
they just
not
kind
at
of
all. Not at all.
thought, oh, "Fuck, we better do something about this."
Well, what happened was they promised a lot of sacrifices and stuff like that afterwards, and a lot of favors. Like, remember that time when we helped you save the world? Can we have those babies now with you? Amazons, because gods love to go down to mortals and make babies, don't they? Demigods. So there were a lot of that happening. Trust me.
Okay. Right, so that's the end of part 2. Part 3, we start with the intro for Barry Allen, aka The Flash.
The fastest man alive.
He's going for a job interview in a pet shop.
Pet grooming thing.
Yeah, he
God.
bumps into Iris. As Iris leaves, a truck smashes into her car. The Flash zooms out the shop and saves her life. Steppenwolf drags some Atlanteans out of the sea and uses a mind device on them to find out where the mother box is under the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce and Diana look at some videos of the Flash and Cyborg as they start to look at new members for the team. Then we get a flashback to Cyborg's footballing days in college and how he ended up as Cyborg. So him and his mother have a car crash on the way home. She dies, and he's about to, but his dad vows to save his life. We
He
then
loses
have
two limbs as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Loses
he
half
uses
his
a
body.
lot. He
Yeah.
uses a lot. Yeah, and then we have a scene where Cyborg finds out about his powers from his dad.
Yep.
And then Barry visits his dad in prison, and from there he goes home, and Bruce is waiting for him and recruits him to the team.
Yep.
Diana is back at the Batcave with Alfred, and he's showing her some of the fancy gauntlets he's making, and she starts to look for Cyborg. The system's hacked into, and she's told to come and meet him. So she goes to meet him just for him to basically say he doesn't want any involvement.
Yeah, I could have done that in an email.
Yeah.
Mm.
Back at the lab with Silas and Ryan Chow, and they discover something about the alien metal and how it can be superheated.
Which is to do with the atom, by the way.
This is very important for later.
Yes.
He goes home and is inducted by a parademon.
Mhm.
Next thing we see Commissioner Gordon calling for Batman with the bat signal. And then we head back to Atlantis, where Steppenwolf has a fight with Mira and Aquaman and steals the second mother box.
Oh, yes.
He then gets the second mother box back to his base, which creates a force field around it. And then there's a load of talk. Oh, no, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the end of part 3, yep.
So I'm going to go straight in here. I really like Ezra Miller as Barry Allen.
I like
Yeah,
him as Barry Allen as well.
I think he does a very good job as Barry Allen. I thought that whole intro sequence involving the slow motion car crash was a car crash, though.
The music
Yes,
choice
I
as
thought-
well. Ugh.
Hated it.
Weird, sad music choice. But so
And he picks that fucking sausage up.
well,
That does pay off with a nice little joke, though.
I know.
yeah, that pays off with the gag. But okay, so the sequence starts. Barry Allen walks into the shop as what's her name? Iris.
Iris
the girl's
West.
name?
Yeah.
She walks out. There's a furtive glance between the two of them.
Very pretty
What's
young people,
happening?
though, aren't they? Both of them.
Yeah. As Ezra Miller's bumbling his way through this interview, he sees her getting into the car. There's another little kind of nod and a wink kind of thing
Yeah.
going. What's going to happen here? And then she gets in a car accident. Fine. He bursts through the door, does his thing, and then you just get this weird moment where she's kind of in midair, in pure peril. He's stood in front of her, and he just brushes the hair out of her face.
Creep.
And it's so fucking creepy.
Creep.
Because this is a really weird, non-consensual romantic interaction with this woman. Because she's in mortal peril and he's moving faster than she can see. And it's, oh no, I don't like it. And he like grabs her from the air and gently places her on the ground as a lover would. And I'm like, no,
I
stop it, Barry.
I do like how slowly he moves limbs, though. Very clever, that. So they don't break broken bones and stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Aside from that sequence is just wildly unnecessary because Iris doesn't come back in the film. That's not a character that we meet again.
I think it's set up for his film, isn't it?
Well, probably, but just that sequence was just no. Why? Why?
Do you know what I found even weird about that sequence? You get hit by a truck at that speed. She just, the look on her face just looks like nonplussed.
It's because she sees him for a few seconds, doesn't she?
No, but like if you even though she's slowed down, surely her face should be crumpled up or
start contouring.
Yeah, or in fear or
but
something.
Then she wouldn't look as pretty.
She doesn't. She's just floats in midair with her eyes wide open,
strange.
like nothing's happened. It's a really weird choice.
Proper got the heebie-jeebies when he brushed that hair out.
Yeah,
I
tell you what he does do that's fantastic, and they didn't do it in the Flash TV show. They haven't done it since the comics have become New 52 comics. The Flash breaks through the pane of glass with his fingertip. Which
I like that.
Yeah,
it's something he does way back. Because he vibrates the glass so quickly with his finger.
Yeah, and the way it goes around with his finger, I did like that.
Good.
It looks really good.
I like that. I like the fact that when he turned to start running, like his shoes obliterated.
Yep.
Yes, that's a nice detail.
Which is a thing that in the comics as well, he can't just speed about all the time because his clothes just burn.
Yeah, and the tarmac on the road starting to shatter as he's running across it. Like all that stuff is good. There's a lot of nice little details in that, which would.
I do like that it's a Flash. It's a Flash that knows his power rather than this is how I became the Flash. It's a Flash that's been a Flash for a good few years, and he's just a boy.
Yeah, my only problem with kind of the Flash and kind of how they've represented his power in the film, he looks really fucking stupid when he's running.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah,
because he's running so he's running so fast, but the strides are really long, as if he's basically
ice skating.
Either ice skating or it's like they've got a rope on his back and suspended him, and he's just kind of doing that running action.
That's probably what they're fucking doing.
Ice skating's a good way to put it. Actually, like I made a note that his running looks really weird. I just doesn't.
Yeah,
it's just odd.
The Flash TV show got how Barry looked running right.
Yes,
because he looks like he's running.
Yeah.
They've just sped up the world around him.
And they did the good thing in the film. It's when he stops and when he starts, it's lightning like striking. But in the program, it will wind, and it's really good, easy effect to make him whoosh into the scene by papers just flying about and stuff. I prefer that than the lightning, because the lightning looks a bit dangerous.
I quite like the lightning; it kind of fits.
Yeah, but imagine it right. If you lived at home, you're Iris West, right? You're his girlfriend, and you're like, oh Barry, I know you're the Flash. Will you go to Pizza Hut for me? And he's like, yeah, I'll go to Pizza Hut for you, but you're going to have to get out of the room so I don't electrocute you as I set off.
Yeah, maybe the lightning should be kind
dangerous.
of been saved for when he goes into those...
When he goes super,
ultra,
when he goes into Speed Force.
But, I mean, see, with all the slow motion in this film, the Flash slow motion didn't bother me because it kind of works because it's
the only way you can predict, you can portray speed. It's the only way.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
but then we get Cyborg's scenes...
I like
slow motion, but I really like the football scene. I thought it looked really good, visually.
I like the football scene. I like the car accident.
He plays for the Gotham Rogues as well, doesn't he? The football team that's on Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, cool. I liked a lot of the Cyborg intro. There's a lot of clunky dialogue in that sequence, though,
especially with Miles Dyson.
Yeah, but that in almost every line of dialogue in there is really clunky. The one that stuck out to me, and I had to write it down, was when Silas is recording the explanation of what his powers can do. He says, "In a world of ones and zeros, you'll be unstoppable." Like, what?
Yeah.
It's the most in
the world of ones and zeros, you'll be number 2.
Yeah, it's like a lot of that dialogue, a lot of this very supposedly important dialogue, or stuff that should maybe carry some.
But you wouldn't say that on a
weight.
dictaphone either. You'd be like, "Dude, you can do what you want."
Yeah, it's all very clunky, and I don't think it works as well as it did. But I like, and this goes for the whole film. I really like the expansion of Cyborg's character.
I think Cyborg's the main character in this.
I can see that, yeah. Or at least he's the most important character.
There is so much more backstory and
he's the Frankenstein's monster, isn't he? He's learning life.
Without him, they can't win. Like, I can completely understand why he was so pissed off. Not just because of all the other shit that was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But imagine sitting and watching that film and just thinking,
I'm not in it anymore.
Where the fuck is my character, my part?
Yeah.
Like
It also like in the Whedon cut, he comes across as just a fucking grumpy git.
It's just a computer with legs, isn't it?
I mean, he's still grumpy in this, but it shows why.
Yeah,
he's more emo in this, though, isn't he? He's more like, I'm gross, I'm a monster. But guess what? I can be Robin Hood.
Yeah. But it's like, it explains why he is that way.
And they gave him his fucking helmet that he's supposed to put on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hated his design, though. I thought there's too much robotics. I've seen a lot of cyborgs which have more, like, they still got a bit of a
I mean, the best
human arm
cyborg design is Teen Titans, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
By a millionfold.
Because he's the best cyborg.
He is. He's absolutely. Yeah, he's the best one.
I think it's one of those things where they didn't have to make his entire body CGI.
No, they didn't.
They could have done a lot with, and think of how they did Cable's arm in Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Where it would be the actor physically acting
on a massively lower budget.
It wouldn't have cost much, but they could like animate parts of him.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
when he's twisting it rather than
like one arm just still be a human arm.
Which it is. It's supposed to be.
I know, but like you see it as his actual skin. And his arm,
it's weird, isn't it?
Because in the comic books, he's not a robot with a human face. He's practically RoboCop.
He's half and half, isn't it?
Yeah, in this, he's pretty much just a robot with half
comics,
a human head.
In the comics, he has to eat and drink. In this, it looks like he hasn't got any human parts apart from his head.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it looks very odd decision, that one.
Yeah.
And he's basically just a rocket, isn't he? He's just a fucking rocket.
They're also really inconsistent on whether they apply the filter to his voice or not.
Yes, they are.
Sometimes he sounds cyborg, sometimes he sounds human.
Yeah.
The one of the things that I really, really enjoy about how they represent Cyborg, though, is anytime they visualize him going into a machine or into a cybernet, he's human again. And I kind of really like that representation of his consciousness going.
It's a bit like the
it.
Matrix, isn't it? It's what he wants to see himself as.
I think that's a nice way of showing that this is what's happening.
His brain is his human part, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's its own self-image.
Yeah, I do like the scene where he gives that woman. He's been watching that woman on the CCTV footage and stuff, and she's having financial difficulties and a life shit, and he gives her $100,000 and stuff like that. I like that.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch.
It reaffirms in your brain this guy's the good guy.
Yeah.
So I think Cyborg's he's done well in this cut, really well.
So what I didn't mention in my little rundown there was that the dictaphone that his dad's given him to explain his powers, just before his dad says, "I've got a message from you from your dad." As a dad, he crushes that and doesn't listen to it, and we'll get back to that later. But and then obviously we get a bit more backstory about Barry and where he's at and what he's trying to do, because now he wants to try and earn some kind of law degree to try and help his dad get out of prison.
Well, his dad tells him that if he put his mind to it, he'd be the best at absolutely anything he'd ever do.
Yeah,
but his dad's dragging him back.
Not to waste his time.
Yeah, his dad's dragging him back. Like everyone knows. You don't even need this. Everyone knows Barry Allen's dad's innocent.
Yeah,
it's Billy Crudup, for God's sake. He's a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He's never hurt anybody.
Yeah. There's a bit that we skipped over earlier on when Diana's talking to Alfred, and then you get kind of Bruce coming back into the sequence. It's when they're sat at the computer. There seems to be this attempt to try and force a little bit of sexual tension between them, and it's just no.
They argued with each other in the Whedon version, which.
Yeah, but they both touched the mouse on this, didn't they? Went, sorry. And Bruce says, it happens all the time. So, no, he doesn't, you fucker. You haven't had a girlfriend in years.
But then that also then coincides with the point that, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this one, but I found, especially kind of from this point onwards, and I'm not sure if this was a Whedon influence, because there's a lot of Whedon content in here, or whether this is a Snyder influence. The framing and the shots of Wonder Woman, of Diana as opposed to Wonder Woman, they're a bit pervy. There's lots of shots down her top, or direct shots of her arse.
Gal Gadot has also mentioned that in things before. She says, "Why do they keep doing it?"
She's practically wearing a belt.
Yeah,
that's true. No, I'm not.
When she's in a full trench coat and stuff, or jumper.
I'm talking about when she's in her civvies. She's wearing this kind of black. It's also kind of partly like the costume design seems odd. Like she's wearing this. And this is not me being a fashionista or anything. He says wearing a hoodie that he's worn for 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
But just some of the costume choices that they give her and the way she's shot and lit. Like, going kind of back earlier when she's the sequence where she finds out about the arrow that's landed.
Yeah.
The way that is shot is composed. She is high up on a gantry, doing some restoration work on a statue.
Yeah.
Wearing a stylish dress.
Yeah.
But the camera is zoomed above her and looking right down the top of the dress.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of these shots seem to be quite pervy, and I can't see any other reason why they're done that way. There's a sequence when Gal Gadot, when Diana goes to speak to Cyborg, when he summons her.
Yeah.
She gets out the car and the camera comes down and focuses on her arse as she walks down the street.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it's,
I mean, I didn't mind it, but I get it.
I mean, that was in the Whedon cut as well, and I remember bringing that up when I had a rant about it 20-something episodes ago.
But that's also in Marvel films with, like, Scarlett Johansson and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Know,
we haven't got past that as a society yet, unfortunately.
It's
Hollywood, mate.
It's something that just makes us feel gross when I see it.
Absolutely.
It's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
To kind of boil down a character like that.
Who's supposed to be the most empowered woman in the universe.
Exactly.
Let's make her just an object of lust. Yeah, I get it. It doesn't suit her character at all. But then again, Wonder Woman's costume is ridiculous.
It is, but like this version of Wonder Woman, this version of Wonder Woman, her costume is probably one of the better versions of the costume.
Absolutely, it's practical as well.
Certainly the least revealing version of a Wonder Woman costume. Like, I mean, God, remember the Linda Carter one?
Oh, I remember it very well.
Yeah. So, we've done that, and
Part 3 we're on now, I think.
Oh, we have a little fight We have a little fight between Steppenwolf, Mira, and Aquaman. I quite like that.
Yeah,
like Aquaman turning up and having a fight.
Amber Heard still can't act, and she still can't do a British accent.
Why is she doing a British accent? She's not British in Aquaman.
We don't know. No idea.
It kind of ventures into Australian a couple of times as well.
The problem is that this was filmed before Aquaman.
I know, but still...
And I don't think she's in the Whedon version, is she?
Yes, she doesn't talk, though.
Yeah, you just see her. She kind of stands out.
Also, one thing, right? And I know this was filmed first. Why are they speaking in bubbles in this and they don't in Aquaman?
I don't know.
I also think
the part of this negates part of Aquaman's
I think it's not canon
film
anymore. That's the thing.
It makes some Aquaman not seem to make sense because he doesn't really seem to know these people in Aquaman, but now he does, and it's like timelines are all mixed up.
Yeah. Also, who is Willem Dafoe's character? Because he's coming across as like a Basil. He comes across as like a Basil exposition.
He basically trained Aquaman as a boy, but in the comics he did that. But in the films, he just exists.
Right. Okay. So he's just there to spout exposition.
Yeah, he's just an emissary. He's like a royal guard, like the boss, one of the bosses of the armies and stuff like that. He's a good character. He's one of those characters that flirts the line between goodie and baddie a lot. I like him.
Right, because just with the way the kind of the very antagonistic relationship between him and Aquaman, I kind of thought that is this Aquaman's dad? Because he's mentioned his dad like 4 times in the film so far.
No, it's his dad. It's like his dad's best mate. If you want to put it in some ways, it's Aquaman's godfather type thing.
Right.
You look after my son when I'm dead.
Not explained in this film at all.
No.
I think at... Oh no, that's this next part. So yeah, then we see obviously Steppenwolf gets his force field round, has another conversation with
which apparently he used part of the toxic nature of the area as well, didn't it, to help him?
That was
that's
a big
cool.
thing he was happy about.
Yeah, he was like, "Ooh, toxic. This will work."
And that's end of part 3. So this to me feels. Don't know how you guys felt, but this to me feels like if Zack Snyder had released this himself, that would be the end of Justice League part of 1.
It would have been, yeah.
And then we would have got part 2 in a separate film.
Yep.
It's the way it ends with Commissioner Gordon calling Batman. He steals the second, and Steppenwolf gets the second mother box.
He's almost there, yeah.
He's almost there, and he kind of gives this little like, "I will make them tell me what they know," and then it ends, and it feels very much like. That's an ending.
How I see it is, do you know the big scene where Wonder Woman tells them about the war that happened? I reckon that would have been longer in the first half, and that would have been the penultimate part, and then this little bit would have been the epilogue of him getting that. If you were to split it in 2,
yeah,
I reckon
it feels very much like.
I reckon that flashback would have been the final battle of that film.
I think if you were to go and see this in the cinema, that would be like your intermission.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like that. in his head originally, that's maybe where he would have done
because
he would have done this
like
film in two
Steppenwolf
parts.
does that speech as if it's like his final speech.
But I will say, if he had have done that, this film would have got an absolute panning.
Yeah, because it's not
because
there's nothing
fuck all happens
Nothing
apart from
happens,
two
yeah.
Aquan sequences and a load of introductions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It feels like an ending, but the rest of the film doesn't.
Yeah, agreed.
Fit very much like it's a film.
I think the original mooted idea of this being like a 4-parter on HBO Max, I think that probably would have worked better because this would have been like the midpoint cut.
Yeah.
And then you would have had the last 2 parts would have been kind of a heap load of fucking action.
Yeah.
But
So-
for me, at this point, the film was dragging. Like,
Yes.
It kicks
There's
off
not
now,
much-
though, doesn't it? It gets in.
Oh, it does kick off. Like the film does get exponentially better from this point.
Yeah.
But getting to this point, God, I aged. I aged so much watching this film, and just from this first kind of 2 hours of it. Like, bear in mind, at this point in the film, we're about 2 hours in. We still don't have Superman yet.
Well, that was to be expected.
Yeah, we've got another
It
2
was to be
hours to go.
expected, but
Mate,
the
we haven't even
original
had
cut
any
of the
Batman
film
yet.
would have finished by now.
But remember, we've only just had Bruce Wayne at this point. No Batman.
Well, true, yeah, but the original cut of the film finished at this point.
Oh, I know.
Right, so part 4. We start with Commissioner Gordon meeting Batman, the Flash, and Wonder Woman on the roof, and they talk to him about the people from the lab and where they were kidnapped. Cyborg turns up, saying that his dad's been taken too, and they figure out the hostages are kept in some tunnels that were connected to Stryker Island.
Yes.
The heroes head down to the tunnels, have this big fight with Steppenwolf and the parademons, and they rescue the hostages, at which point Aquaman turns up during the fight at the end as well. Steppenwolf goes back to the base and gets one of the mother boxes to show him where the anti-life equation is.
Oh, yeah.
He then informs THAT, and then Darkseid finally appears to tell Steppenwolf that he'll come to Earth when he finds the third box. Heroes take the third box back to Batman's base to discuss what it is. Cyborg tells them its history of it and how it created him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene with Martha and Lois, and she tells Lois about losing the farm, and they have a heart-to-heart. She then leaves, and it's revealed that she's actually Martian Manhunter.
John Johns himself. Yes,
And then-
I was so buzzing off this.
And then it's revealed that he is also General Swanwick from Man of
Yes.
Steel and Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, I fucking love this. This is so good.
We head back to the team, who agree that the only way to win this fight is to use the cube to bring Superman back to life.
Yeah.
That's the end of part 4. Part 4 is not very long,
No.
apart from the big
But it's good.
action sequence we have in the near the start. But the action sequence is very good.
Yes.
Can I also point out how hench J.K. Simmons got for this?
Brilliant. He looks incredible. He looks incredible.
I kind of half expected him to rip open his shirt and go, "Can I join?" He's talking to them because he's got like an action
J-Man.
hero body. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you need an action body to be Commissioner Gordon?
He looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
fair
think it's because
enough.
he's coming from Whiplash, isn't he? And he looked good in Whiplash.
All that
He
drumming.
wasn't that hench in Whiplash though.
He looked good in Whiplash.
He did, but he wasn't that fucking muscly.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
I like that scene on the roof. I think it was in the Whedon version as well, just where they all fuck
Just
off,
a lot shorter.
and it's just the Flash left
Yeah.
on there, and he's just like, "Oh,
Oh yeah,
they all
go.
left.
Yeah.
That's rude."
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Flash moments in this one because that's the Barry Allen that I expected.
That's the Barry Allen
Yeah.
that we want. Yeah. That is absolutely.
He's young and impressionable and
Yeah. And bear in mind.
which it's in stark contrast from the end of the last part, which we didn't even talk about, when you've got the the part before where Bruce hires
Oversimplification.
effectively hires him.
that one.
Yeah.
That bit.
Yeah, where it's
In my second favourite chair.
yeah, where Bruce is
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
sorry, we didn't talk
kind of
about that.
explaining like that we're building a team. He's like, I'm in.
He goes, stop
Yeah.
right there. I'm in.
I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Well,
that.
then you also get like a really
Can I keep
cool-
this?
you get a really cool little bit of dialogue, which I didn't notice. I know it's in the Whedon version. I didn't notice at the time when they're getting into Bruce's car, and he's like, my metabolism's off the chart. I've got to eat like 70,000 calories a day. And
Yeah.
it's just like I really like that little bit of characterization. And then you get the product placement of that obscene Mercedes.
yeah, that car's ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah.
that's his superpower. I'm rich.
I'm rich. I
The-
do.
The,
quite-
the
I do
thing,
quite
the
like
thing
that.
with the Flash and calories is a massive aspect of the actual character of the Flash. Where
Yeah.
in some stories, it's not been able to carry on because he needs a donut or something. Do you know what I mean? He just used all his calories. He's fatigued.
And I wish I could eat that much pizza and still and be that skinny.
Well, just run it close to the speed of light, and you'll get
Yeah,
there.
you can still be skinny and have diabetes. So
the other thing with this sequence though that kind of I think pulls it down is, and I have to actually think back about the travel. Because so far they're moving around a lot, and they're not really telling you where they are, other than with context clues. Like the fact that they're speaking to Commissioner Gordon tells you they're in Gotham.
Yeah,
fair enough. But there's no would it kill them to put a fucking title card on to say Gotham
stop
City,
doing
Metropolis?
That on things. I've noticed that a lot.
But the problem is, I think that it was all filmed in the same city because all these bits of the city that you see look the same.
Well, can you remember? Did you watch Batman vs Superman? So, in that film, Gotham and Metropolis are over the water to each other. Literally over a harbour to each other.
What?
Yeah,
really?
Everyone knows it. When there's a scene where Lex Luthor's he drops Lois Lane off a building, and Superman's got to quickly fly down and catch her, and he comes up and says, "I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to kill you, Lex." And then he goes, "Look over the bay," and there's a bat symbol over Gotham. So he's in Metropolis and he looks over the bay and there's a bat symbol in Gotham. So
doesn't make sense because they're meant to be like two opposing parts of America.
Gotham's supposed to be New York and Metropolis is supposed to be Chicago type.
Yeah, they're supposed to be a few hundred miles from each other.
Yeah, but they're meant to be like one's. Metropolis always felt like it was a bit of a richer city. And Gotham was a bit.
Oh yeah, Gotham's fucked, mate.
Yeah.
But also, so you think back to it, like the Bruce drives off with Barry, and then you get a sequence of them coming out of the Batjet.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so that would then imply that Metropolis, that
you need to
Central
fly.
City, is quite far away from all this.
Yes,
and also that there is the implication they actually need to travel to Metropolis for the sequence getting Superman because don't they all get in the jet because the jet wants to fly.
The timing in it's worse than Game of Thrones, to be honest.
I think they got there's a lot of quick travel.
It's really, really difficult to work out where they are, and then you get this big fight under Gotham Harbor, and suddenly fucking Aquaman's there at the end of it. I'm sure we'll go through the fight, but Aquaman's there at the end of it. I'm like, okay, and I'm stealing this completely from pitch meetings, but is he just treading water outside Gotham Harbor?
Yeah,
just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, like the guy can fight outside of water, but just turns up randomly when they get the bomb.
There's water involved.
Missile goes off. I quite like the fight sequence. I did like Steppenwolf versus Wonder Woman. I thought was really cool. Apart from the dialogue.
Can I just go back a second? Can I just go back to it a second to where you were saying that they went to Strikers Island under the water?
Yeah.
This is also going to blow your mind. So Strikers Island's in Metropolis, and Commissioner Gordon says it's in Strikers Island. So they went to Gotham to find out that they needed to go to Metropolis again.
Why are they so close? I thought Strikers Island was just like a part of Gotham.
No,
it's
Metropolis, and that's basically in this universe. Strikers Island is in the middle of them both.
Okay.
I think if I'm remembering right though, and this might be me getting it completely wrong from the few comics I've read, isn't where Strikers Island's kind of represented to be in this film? Isn't that supposed to be Arkham Asylum?
No.
Because I thought Arkham Asylum was in the bay.
There's two big prisons. There's Blackgate and Arkham, and they're on another island type thing just off the city, but not Strikers Island. Strikers Island's Metropolis.
Okay.
Yeah, the fight is good. There is some very stupid shit in it. There is one thing that I fucking love, which is Old Man Batman fighting.
I love Old Man Batman fighting
because it's that bit where
it's crap in it,
where there's a kind of parademon in front of him, and he shoots his bat winch thing up at the ceiling, and then just kind of jumps and kicks him through the door.
Yeah,
he just looks so slow and old. It's fucking hilarious.
Ben Affleck's forearms in this are massive.
I know, but this is supposed to be the man that 6 months earlier fought Superman.
Yeah. And 20 years earlier was at his prime.
Ben Affleck seems to Batman seems to get bigger in this as well, depending on when the situation suits.
Like Steppenwolf.
It's like he doesn't look very swole as Bruce Wayne, but then he's in the Batsuit. He's just like ripped, like absolutely hench.
And that's a fabric suit as well. That's not like a
Yeah.
like a armor. He's not wearing armor in this. He's wearing fabric.
So a couple of things that annoy me in this fight, like I said, the Steppenwolf versus Wonder Woman. I really like the matchup, but that fucking music every time she's on, that chanting. I get it. A couple of times it'd be cool. But every single that is the good theme.
You mean the ethereal music that they put
they're
on?
quite happy that they use sparingly.
Yeah.
But this chanting over everything Wonder Woman or the Amazons did just grated on me so much.
It gets so funny. It's when it's in the last battle, and it's every time you see her, like every time the camera cuts to her doing something active, and it's
They're really pushing Wonder Woman, weren't they? They're really pushing her, like, you're gonna love her. You're gonna love her.
Yeah, and then they give us Wonder Woman 84.
I've never seen it.
Terrible.
Yeah, but she also says, like, Steppenwolf is like, this one's mine. And she's like, I belong to no one. And I'm like, it's just such cliche
I am
dialogue.
no man.
Yeah, the one in the Eowyn line, didn't they?
Yeah.
I am no man.
It's like there's
But that's
so
in a
many
book.
better ways to, like, show like a strong, independent woman than, like, really crap
When
dialogue.
you read some of the really good, and especially the modern Wonder Woman books, before the film started coming out, she is such a kick-ass, badass fucking feminist icon. Honestly, she's incredible. She's so overpowered. She's like, there's only a few like male people that she has to bow down to and stuff like that. And in this, it's like she's just a sex object.
The Bat Spider thing, I still maintain is a very the Nightcrawler is very stupid. But the stupid thing that I had with this one, or this time through, and actually, to be fair, I think this might be in the Whedon cut. It gets knocked down the shaft.
Oh, it's crap.
It gets destroyed as fuck. Cyborg can hack into any technology. Fair. But Alfred explicitly says, Batman specifically says, total system failure. It's not running.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's off.
Mechanically, it's fucked.
Yeah, and because obviously it isn't really established what his powers are other than that he can kind of hack into systems. It's not established at that point that the mother box stuff that's within him can repair stuff.
Well,
because it shows you his creation that he came from the mother box, but he is not the mother box.
It seems in this that he's got some kind of nanobot powers, but he hasn't got that as a character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very Deus Ex Machina. It's like
really
he has this ability to do this when it suits him.
When it suits him, yeah. Which would make him that would make him a modern day god if he could do that.
Yeah. And then I don't know, you just get this moment of absolute stupidity when Steppenwolf is fucking blowing the hole in the thing. There's water coming in. Aquaman appears, and Aquaman's kind of holding the wave.
He just slides in, doesn't he? Like he's in a
hey
water
guys,
park.
I'm here now.
Yeah,
my man.
Aquaman's holding the water back, and everyone stood staring at it.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
He's giving you a few seconds to get away.
He should have gone,
get away.
Fucking run!
What I did like, though, just before that is, and it was in the Whedon version, the catching of the missile is very cool, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so
you
cool.
fire a missile at him and he just catches it. He's like, the fuck is this?
He looks at it like, what is this kind of contraption? And then just throws it.
Just throws it away. It's just like, is this all you've got?
It's just a casual discarding it.
Did you notice about Steppenwolf in that moment as well? Did you notice the extra finger he's got?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, when he grabs it, he's got an extra digit on his, like he's got like 2 thumbs. It's pretty cool.
I did notice it later.
That's how he grabs the horses, I think, with his extra thumbs.
So yeah, he gets away, and then we get back to his lair, don't we? And he has a moment. I don't know why he suddenly thinks, "Oh, I should touch this box to find some out." He finds that the anti-life equation is on Earth.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to tell Darkseid. Why doesn't Darkseid and all the rest of them remember it?
No, because this is what I was thinking in that flashback. I don't think he knew that the anti-life equation were there.
He does.
I thought that's the whole point of him being on Earth at the time.
No, he's there because he's there because he's searching 10,000 worlds for the anti-life equation, and he's destroying worlds. He destroys worlds that it's not on. In
that sequence, he picks the ground up in his hand, and he takes his weapon and he smashes it into the ground, and the equation appears in front of him.
I thought
That's Steppenwolf.
That's Steppenwolf.
No, it happens in both.
I've seen it 3
Does that happen in
times.
It happens in both. I guarantee
I
it.
don't think he does, mate.
It
but-
does. I watched it last night well, I skipped through it last night to get
Ah.
I guarantee you, go back and have a look. And
I've seen it 3
happens.
times. I'm fine.
They don't. The film doesn't do a good job of explaining what the importance of the anti-life equation is.
I could
generally-
give you an explanation.
You could,
I don't
but
think
the
we
whole
need to know
point is
the
the
specific
film.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't need the specifics of it here. The point is, the film it just says this is what Darkseid's looking for. It's the key to his power, or whatever, or the key to destroying everything. It's like it's such a basic explanation.
It is a
It's just like-
mathematical formula as well.
yeah. And also when you get the Steppenwolf reveal of it, when Steppenwolf kind of hits it and you get the Omega symbol, and it's just like, oh, is Kratos arriving?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first thought. It's a very stupid MacGuffin, I think.
I mean,
That
it
is the
makes
problem.
sense. It makes sense, like thematically in the universe, because the anti-life equation is the omega, and the life equation, which is the opposite, which exists. It doesn't mention it. Is the alpha.
No, that's the problem.
It doesn't mention it. That's the problem.
It doesn't mention. It doesn't mention that there is a life.
Like
and
my little
life
nerd
and
head,
anti-life.
I got a little nerd boner just them saying anti-life equation. I'm like, why are we fucking go? And then realizing, oh, there won't be another film.
You see me watching as a civilian.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck is that?
I facepalmed when they said anti-life equation.
Oh no, it's
That
so.
is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Mate, it's to create the anti-monitor. Oh, the ultimate
Right.
being that can.
It was also at this point I noticed that the sound mixing was all over the place.
Yeah.
There was
the whole fucking
points-
film.
Yeah, up until this point, actually, it had been all right, but the sound mixing started getting weird, and I think it was especially with Steppenwolf's dialogue. Like, his voice became very quiet in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes when you get characters, and it was from this point onwards, which I think is probably when there's a lot of the Whedon stuff cut in with it, and then there's a lot of the new stuff put together with it. The sound mixing is just really poor, and there's a lot of kind of mumbled dialogue. You've got kind of Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne voice is still a little bit of a Batman voice. He's not speaking as Ben Affleck, it's just his normal voice.
Yeah.
He's kind of giving it a bit of that.
It's
you
got a
know?
bit of a
And-
reverb to it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it started to get, especially when they were doing the big dumps of exposition, it started getting hard to follow for me.
You're not wrong.
Actually,
You're not wrong.
I was thinking by the end of it of putting the subtitles on.
I did anyway. I always do.
Just before we quickly move on, I have checked, and Darkseid does find the equation when he arrives.
I still don't think he does.
He does.
You're going to have to watch it again, aren't
I'll
you?
send you a screenshot. Anyway, yeah, and then we have this moment where Martian Manhunter turns up.
I like it.
I'm going to point out Amy Adams still can't act. And also,
She's
this Martian...
a very good actor though.
Not in
Like,
this.
Arrival.
Yeah,
Look at Arrival.
In this Martian Manhunter thing coming in, obviously it's completely unexpected for anybody, to be fair. It's supposed to be a twist. I get it. Kind of robs the preceding scene of any of its emotional weight, though.
Yeah, totally. Like,
And
how does
I
he
also
know all
don't
this stuff?
I don't...
How does he what, sorry?
How does he know all this stuff?
He's a
like,
Martian
about-
Manhunter, it's part of his power.
Yeah, he's kind of psychic.
Yeah, kind of psychic.
Um,
That's his main thing.
That's an understatement, yeah. But yeah, this kind of pulling the strings from in the background that Martian Manhunter's doing.
Yeah.
It's so vague you can't see a point in
It
what
is
he's
kind of
doing.
against his character, because if something like Doomsday had appeared, Martian Manhunter would have appeared earlier. He wouldn't have just gone, get him, Superman, I'm a colonel.
Yeah.
He'd have got involved.
What got me about that sequence was, so he turns from Martha into his true form,
Yeah.
and then back into the general. Why did he not just turn into the general? Like,
So we
I know
could
it's- I
see
know
him
it's-
talking
I know it's
to
for
himself.
us to see. I know it's for us to see, but
The
like,
world also
imagine if
needs
someone
Lois
just
Lane.
came down those steps behind him, was just like, the fuck is that?
Do you know it? I was thinking about
also,
this.
his design is awful.
Yeah, I don't like
It
it.
doesn't
I don't
look
like
like
it.
Martian Manhunter.
No, I don't like it either. It's not green enough.
Like, it would have made more sense if the general would have had a scene with someone and then turned to Martian Manhunter, and you'd be like, "Oh shit!" But yeah,
Or his eyes just went red for a split second at some point.
having that scene between Lois and Martha, and it just took everything
it's
about
quite
that scene
selfish,
away.
actually. That scene, it makes it rather dark and sinister. It's selfish because what he's saying is, you need to get back on your feet because we need. He knows that Superman's going to get resurrected. He's saying we need you to potentially sacrifice yourself so Superman gets his memories back. It's quite a selfish act.
Also with the way that kind of misdirect's done. When we see Martha later in the film, I was thinking, is that the Manhunter or not?
No, I don't think it is.
No.
How do we know, though? That's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's it. How do you know? Because that sequence kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. Was Martian Manhunter always with Superman's dad all this time, all these years? Has he been laying next to a Martian?
What happens if Lois brings that conversation up?
She'll go, what?
Martha, she's like, huh?
She'll go, what the fuck are you on about?
I was shopping.
Yeah. I've been in Smallville all this time.
So that's end of part 4. We'll move on to part 5 now.
Oh, God, we've still got a fucking chunk of this film left.
Oh, yes.
We're getting there. We're riding it out.
We're getting there, listeners. Right, so, part 5. They dig up Superman's body and take it to
This is such a good part, by the way. This whole section's incredible for me.
So they cut back to Lois, who wakes up and she opens a drawer. There's a pregnancy test in there. She then takes into the bathroom.
Oh my God.
So there's a bit of intrigue there. And then she heads off to Superman's statue. The team place Superman into the pool in the ship. Cyborg is warned not to wake the box by the ship. He then has a vision of the world burning, with Wonder Woman and Aquaman dead, and Superman cradling a burnt body at the feet of Darkseid. Cyborg breaks out of his vision and says no, but the Flash thinks he says go, and he runs to the box to charge it. Box touches Superman. Superman comes back to life. He doesn't really know where he is. He's a bit discombobulated. He doesn't know who the Justice League are and ends up having a fight with them. He snaps out of this when Lois
reveals his secret identity to everyone.
Yeah, and he flies off with her. Steppenwolf then arrives, and Silas sacrifices himself to heat up the box, so when Steppenwolf takes it, the team can track its heat signature. Now, the Justice League fight against Superman is pretty much the same as the Whedon version, bar a few things.
He doesn't ask Batman if he could bleed anymore.
No, that's in Batman vs Superman.
No. And if you remember in the original Whedon cut, he goes to Batman and goes, "Do you bleed?"
Oh,
he does the same thing back to him, and it makes no sense because he knows he bleeds. He knows he's human.
So in this one, it's established that Lois keeps going to the statue every day. We've already established that. Whereas in the Whedon version, Batman uses Lois as a backup plan.
Yeah.
He brings her there as a backup plan just in case they need her to snap Superman out of it.
Yeah.
But in this one, Batman's just like, just do it. Like, he's egging Cyborg on to wake the box to wake Superman.
Yeah.
But I kind of I don't like this fight between Superman and the rest of the team.
How good does Henry Cavill look though without a top on?
Oh, fabulous.
There's
a great line early in this part when they're kind of going through the rigmarole of like getting the plan together and resurrecting Superman. And there's a metaphor used about a bull charging. Says don't wave your red cape at a charging bull. And just Bruce Wayne says, "This red cape charges back."
Yeah.
Killed me laughing that. It's so bad.
Some of the dialogue really is bad.
I do like this Bruce Wayne. I don't like this Batman, but I like this Bruce Wayne because I think he's a bit dumb. He's a bit silly.
I don't think he's dumb and silly. I think it's pure arrogance.
Arrogance works.
He's got that arrogant billionaire.
He's like, do you know how many super baddies I've took down in my lifetime?
Yeah,
this is fuck all.
But I do think that fight lacks a fair bit of impact. That's my only kind of main criticism of it, because there's so much of people being slammed against things.
Yeah,
that's how Superman fights.
I know that, but it's just like it's all a bit floaty.
Yeah.
It's like they're whacking off stuff, and there's no real consequence to it. Like, you get Batman thrown against the car, and he kind of sits there and coughs a bit, and it's just like, okay, that's a god throwing you against a car. You'd go through it.
Yeah.
You'd be dead, mate.
He's got a special suit on. It's fine.
He hasn't. No.
Just before we,
he's got his car repellent. He's got his car repellent spray next to him to push the car backwards.
Car repellent bat spray.
What do we think about this little flash that into the potential future that Cyborg sees, though?
I think that's
Wonder Woman.
I
is
think
dead.
that's
Aquaman's dead.
That's. I mean. Spoiler alert. This does happen in the books. This is Zack Snyder's way of saying we're not going to do another film, but this is what would have happened.
I think
that's how I see it.
I mean, that's what he's obviously set up for future films when he did film.
Yeah,
this.
but now it's like it's not going to happen. So we'll reveal. That's why I think the epilogue exists. It's like this is what would have happened.
Yeah, I think it ultimately doesn't really serve that much to the film. I think
it's more of a, it's not more of a premonition. It's more of a what if kind of thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't serve like in that moment as well.
It makes no sense.
I don't think it serves anything because this premonition comes. I can't remember what the premonition comes from. Is it from the box or is it from the ship that it comes from?
From the box.
It's from the box. Yeah, the ship.
The
ship doesn't know that kind of thing.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's.
You've got to bear in mind this probably happens in a split second for Cyborg.
What's going to come if you resurrect Superman, and.
Is the box sentient though?
Yes, they are sentient supercomputers, all of them.
But the film doesn't establish this. It says they're supercomputers, and it says they are capable of doing a great thing. I don't think it's mentioned.
Is that just me knowing that? It could be just me knowing that.
Happy to be corrected on that if I am wrong. If someone comments on that and says, no, it does say in this bit of dialogue that they're sentient, fine. But from my memory, it feels like because that sequence happens, I didn't know where that was coming from.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's just something I knew.
And then the go thing, that was just stupid. I thought that was pointless.
Yeah, but bear in mind they're using Bruce Wayne tech communicators. That wouldn't be that spotty.
He does kind of whisper, though, doesn't he? He doesn't shout. No, he's kind of
he goes no.
But what I noticed in that is like what I mentioned in the part there is Superman is cradling the body of a smouldering skeleton, which I'm taking to be Lois.
It is,
I'm taking that.
And we are obviously meant to feel that. Is Lois dying enough to set Superman off like that?
There's a bit more to that,
maybe
mate.
not.
She's pregnant.
But, exactly. If he found out that she was pregnant,
yeah, they killed John.
Does that
John Lane Clark?
Does that like really just send Superman over the edge?
Yeah, that's what happens in the death of not the death of Superman, the Nightmare, where the Joker kills Lois rather than anyone else.
Yes, it happens in Injustice games as well, doesn't it?
I can't remember.
The Joker ends up killing Lois, and it sends Superman into a spiral, and he becomes evil.
Yeah.
I did like the little foreshadowing that they're doing when Barry is running and he gets close to light speed, and you see time kind of going backwards ever so slightly.
Well, did you not notice the thing where he misses the box, doesn't he, and then reverses it ever so slightly?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I like that. I thought that was because obviously it becomes a big thing in the 6th chapter. I thought that was a really nice little moment there because I thought, oh, that's interesting. That wasn't in the original.
No, it wasn't. It just happened. He didn't miss, did he?
No, he sprints, hits the thing, and then classes through the other side of the ship.
Yeah, well, they didn't do any of that time travel stuff in the Wii version, did they?
No, they didn't. But I'm saying it's a nice
setup. The Flash and Superman were buggering off, rushing people out of the vicinity.
Which makes no fucking sense.
Well, it does kind of weird Superman. I think Superman would, if there was a fight and there was people to save.
Not at this point. Superman got to a point where he would sacrifice that.
I don't think so. If it was a choice of like, I've got to get these people out of here before
Steppenwolf destroys the world.
Well, it depends at what point. I don't know.
At what cost?
I think that's just a case of I don't think that Zack Snyder gets Superman.
I don't think Superman's the Boy Scout at this point that he was originally. That's the thing.
I do. Just getting back to that fight, though, it does have one of my favourite moments of the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bit where Superman has hold of Wonder Woman and I think Cyborg, and the Flash goes to run around the back of him, and you just see Superman's eyes move, and then the Flash's face is like, oh shit, he can see me.
It's an incredible look on Henry Cavill's face as well, because it looks like he's
smiling, isn't it?
He's giving some proper side eye. It's like fucking Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes is like giving an evil look kind of thing going.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
What I do like as well, the stick to the
no drama or danger to it. No. I didn't think, oh shit, that's a big moment. I'm sat there giggling at it.
Yeah, it's
so
a great
funny.
moment.
The stick to the canonical aspect that the Flash is only just faster than Superman as well. He technically is the fastest man alive, but only just.
Well, he's a bullet, so.
Yeah, he's not. He's not fast enough to avoid a punch from Superman.
No, but yeah, the difference is the Flash can access the Speed Force. Superman can't. But yeah, it's so cool.
Well, unless you're in Superman 2, where
he uses the Speed Force to twist the planet back round,
turn the world backwards,
which is bollocks.
It really is. And then Lois comes, buggers off with Superman, and then
I kind of like that scene where they're at the farm.
But we have this moment, I think that's next.
Oh, is it?
We have this moment where obviously Steppenwolf arrives to take the box, and Silas for some reason thinks, I'm just going to burn myself up here.
Miles Dyson, the actor that plays this guy, loves to sacrifice himself.
He does, yeah.
Is that the guy
Sean
from
Bean loves
Terminator 2?
Terminator 2?
Yeah.
I thought it was. I was looking at it. Yeah.
He hasn't aged a fucking day either. He looks incredible for his age.
He's got a big career.
I just don't understand why. Can't he just set this laser off from
run
outside the room?
I'm not being funny, but I'd rather have my neck snapped by Steppenwolf than get evaporated.
Yeah, why does he have to
I've got a body for me.
Why does he have to go in the room to do it? Can't he just press the button from the outside?
Stupid.
And I know it kind of bleeds into the next part when they give the explanations, but my last note for this section, because I stopped taking notes after this point and I'm basically going to be going from memory.
Yeah.
My last note, all in capitals. He made the box hot, and now they're using the Bat satellite to look for it.
He's got 6 of them.
He's got 6 of them, yeah.
He's got 6 of them. Oh my God. There is so many... This is why I generally don't get on that well with a lot of DC films, a lot of Batman films, and also why I don't get on with Tony Stark. The billionaire thing means they can just, again, Deus Ex Machina in the fact that he's bought this shit.
Bruce Wayne's a trillionaire.
Whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, this stuff makes me so angry because when has it ever been established that Batman has satellites?
He's always had satellites.
He's got everything. But the stupid thing about that is, like, surely Cyborg can just hack into any of them anywhere.
Don't forget, I know you probably haven't seen it as much as I, but on Man of Steel, Superman bumps into a Wayne Enterprise satellite. So that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, he does. That was quite nice moment. Like, just
exactly.
I thought it was so stupid.
I can completely agree that he has a satellite. Doesn't Elon Musk have a satellite?
He's got Starlink. It's not necessarily his satellites. It's a service that he's setting up.
Yeah, see.
Elon Musk, does he have a bat signal? I don't think he does.
I bet he does. I bet he does.
Big E.
Also, don't bring Elon Musk into defending it. He's just as bad as Batman. He just probably has a lower body count.
But I'm just saying that the point is that eccentric billionaires probably do have these.
There is a sense of narcissism, isn't there? I have to have 6 satellites.
Yeah, it goes back. It's like the fucking line at the end of it where he bought the bank. I mean, it's. Do
you know? Just a bit of a sidetrack. Do you know when the DC and Marvel did that team up book and they all clashed with each other? And Iron Man obviously met Bruce Wayne, and rather than having the battle that everyone wanted, they just had a money off. It was so funny. So funny, like, I've got this much money. I've got this much money.
Just throwing stood there with a sack of money.
No, they were evaluating each other's assets.
Oh, for God's sake.
So good.
Just imagine that in a film, like, all this shit's going off.
Yeah,
like,
them two are arguing.
Banging against each other, and then, like, it just comes back to them two sat at a table with, like, spreadsheets.
That's exactly what it was.
Look.
And then Tony Stark saying, well, I can drink more whiskey than you, and Batman's like, no, I can drink more whiskey than you. Just absolute assholes being assholes.
Right.
Oh,
we're getting close to the end now.
Woo!
Right, so we're on to part 6. Starts with Lois and Clark at the farm. She tells them about losing the farm.
Lovely scene, this.
Goes back to the Justice League. They're back at Batman's lab, tracking the mother box.
Mm-hmm.
We then go back to the farm where Martha turns up, and we have this lovely moment where her and Clark reunite, and all 3 of them have this hug. Then the team set off in the jet to the abandoned Russian town.
Mm-hmm.
Steppenwolf starts the process to unite the boxes.
Yep.
The Justice League come up with a plan to enter the base and destroy the boxes. Essentially, the Flash has to run around as fast as he can to generate enough charge for Cyborg to pull the boxes apart.
Yep.
Superman then goes back to the ship, and we have this voiceover moment where we hear Jor-El and Jonathan Kent.
Basically, it's his little moral choice dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah. As they're like he's conscious, like talking to him, and then he walks past a load of Kryptonian suits.
Yeah.
Eventually, he stops at one. Then he steps out of the ship, and he's got the black suit on.
Regeneration suit.
and he flies off to join the team after powering himself up with the sun, which I thought was very important.
That's what the black suit's for as well.
Yeah.
More light.
Yeah. And then Batman breaks through the shield in the nuclear power station, takes down the tower, which destroys the whole of the shield.
Yeah.
Big battle commences with the heroes and the parademons. Flash starts to do his laps around the town to create the charge.
Yeah.
Superman visits Alfred to find out where they've gone. And then our heroes have their final battle with Steppenwolf. He's getting the better of them until Superman turns up and knocks the shit out of him.
Yeah, it does. So good.
Really does.
Really does. The Flash is just about to get to the point where he needs to be, where he's taken down by a shot from a parademon.
Yeah.
Darkseid's portal then starts to open and the boxes unite and scorch the earth.
Yep.
Flash quickly heals himself.
He goes, come on, fast healing, come on.
Yeah, so the Flash heals himself, and as Gadget said, with the foreshadowing, he starts to run back in time.
Run, Barry.
And he manages to get the charge up to the point where he gets to Cyborg at the right time, and Cyborg and Superman manage to pull the boxes apart.
Yep.
Aquaman then stabs Steppenwolf from behind with his not trident, or whatever it is that he's got.
Quindant.
Yeah, he lifts him up. Superman punches him towards the portal. Wonder Woman with that amazing chanting music again chops his head off. It flies through the portal just before it closes. Darkseid steps on it, and then we have a stare down between the Justice League and Darkseid before the portal eventually shuts.
I love that bit.
Darkseid says that he's just going to use the old ways to get back there.
Gather the
And then
Armada.
we have a team standoff in victory.
Yeah.
And that is the end of part 6.
I like this part.
Yes.
It made the end battle better.
Yeah, they're so much better than the
It almost felt.
It wasn't
it
hard
almost
to
felt,
improve the end battle.
It felt Marvel Phase 2-y. It had an air of that.
I can see that. Yeah,
it had an air of it to me.
The battle made more sense what they were doing. Like you didn't have Barry pissing about evacuating people.
Dostoevsky.
Yeah, you didn't have any of that. You still had Bruce kind of fucking sacrificing the jet that he's been pining over for the whole film because he just gets shot down immediately.
Love that plane.
Yeah, but then you get that pretty fun sequence of him like kind of driving through the town.
He's having a whale of a time.
Yeah, with Aquaman like stood on it.
My man.
Yeah, the whole thing with kind of Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the air. It seems that stuff just didn't, because neither of them can fly.
Oh no! Wonder Woman can fly.
Wonder Woman can fly.
You remember in
She can fly
1984,
anyway.
She just suddenly learns how to fly.
And Aquaman can you?
Yeah, but she's not flying in that though. I thought she was hooking onto Stormfly.
It's not
looks
really
like she's
flying. She
flying.
leaps, doesn't she, and like glides. But with Aquaman, bear in mind, and it doesn't tell you in this film, he can use the moisture in the air to create ripples
Fuck off!
to make it as if he's flying.
No,
Well,
in this one, he does get propelled around
Yeah,
a
he
bit
does.
rather than
Yeah, he
flying. He gets thrown by the
And then he
car.
surfs on a parademon through a
and
building.
then the parademons pick him up.
Yeah.
But then Cyborg helps him, and
I liked it.
I do enjoy Old Man Batman kind of climbing up the side of things. He's just punching parademons, taking their rifles off them, sitting on the standing gun.
He's the MVP in this bit. People don't realise what he's doing.
He's the MVP.
He doesn't-
he's doing some severe cardio
Absolutely.
going up there. But I just like the fact that you've got these actual gods fighting, and you've got Batman just like, I'll get these guys.
Yeah.
There is one scene that I have to mention as well, because, like I say, I've seen it 3 times. There's one scene where they all like, right, Batman's like, I'm going to do this in car, and then you'll get in. And then they all go, okay, and then they all like fly off, zoom off, and then Batman just turns around and like waddles into his car like a human. It's as if he's looking back going, yep, I've got to hike it, guys.
Yeah.
It's such a good bit.
It's so funny.
See, people moaned about Batman using guns at this point, and I'm like,
He did anyway at this point in the books.
Because there is a Justice League cartoon where he comes against the parademons, and
He'll kill them any time.
Offered a gun, he's like, no, he doesn't. He says no, and he basically fights them by hand. But in this situation, he's not going to be able to do that.
They're not
I think
fucking
he'd want a
human.
gun. Yeah, they're shooting him with a gun.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't use one, he's dead.
Bear in mind, right?
Yeah.
This is getting nerdy again. This is Dark Knight Returns, like Alan Moore. This is stuff where he's been off duty for a long time, and he comes back, and there's been wards that he's lost. He's lost one of the Robins. You know what I mean? he's not arsed. He just
he has lost to Robin, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's established in
exactly.
I think Batman versus Superman.
He loses his moral compass the later he gets on in life, Batman. And by the time, I mean, the run's finished now, but by a certain point, he's killed a lot of his enemies. Killed.
Yeah.
Because he just thinks, fuck it.
Yeah.
This whole sequence works a lot better for me. There's still a lot of stuff I find a bit dumb in it, but I really like the way they use Barry Allen for it. Like the idea of him building up this charge, which we've established that he needs to do. He needs to get at a certain speed. He can build up electrical charge
faster than light.
And then he can kind of punch Cyborg into the Mother Cube.
Yes,
I like that. I think that is some decent storytelling because that's been established throughout the film that this is what can happen.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm fucking praising GCSE writing here because that's what it kind of feels like in places throughout this film.
Oh, it's very easy, isn't it? It's easy writing. There's nothing extraordinary about it.
Yeah, I like how that's kind of built up. I like how you get the payoff for that one. I like the kind of the slightly timey-wimey travel-y stuff that goes on with it. I think the fight loses its impact when Superman arrives.
They always do in DC.
Yeah, because I mean, Superman is a god.
He's the god.
He's the most overpowered character in all comic books.
Yeah.
So
he's One Punch Man.
The fight between Steppenwolf and the Justice League without Superman is actually kind of tense.
Yeah.
Because they kind of it's a lot of blow trading.
I think they could have still took him eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, the thing is, he's powerful. He's not a god, though.
No, he's not. No,
he's just a very strong alien.
Yeah,
and they're chipping bits of his armor off and all like that, and he starts looking better with less armor on.
Yeah,
fucking hell. But they're knocking each other back and forth, and then Superman comes in. And granted, Superman, he throws a good punch. The man can punch. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But it just takes the entire wind out of the sails of the fight because all of a sudden you've got this all-powerful being knocking the shit out of a powerful being, but not an all-powerful one.
Yeah.
And it then just becomes a bit of nothing.
Do you know what I
it's just
think
a lot
it
of Superman punching things.
In all seriousness, I think it's a foreshadowing event. It's saying this is how much we were struggling with Steppenwolf. Now Superman's turned up. Imagine if he was the antagonist. That's what I think. I think it's a foreshadowing to that because, even Darkseid kind of looks surprised to see a Kryptonian back.
They won't. They don't. I'm sure it's mentioned that they won't. Don't want to go to Earth.
Oh no,
Superman.
Yeah, if there's a Kryptonian,
Superman is the reason why why Earth was stayed away from so long.
A Kryptonian, basically, in the law, any Kryptonian that's in the presence of a yellow sun, there's just no point in going near. Like Goku in Dragon Ball Z, there's no point in going near. You're not going to win.
So what I will say though is that it felt like everyone in the team had something to do in here, rather than just waiting for Superman. Whereas the original Justice
they were just
League
holding him off, weren't they?
They were just like, we're just waiting, we're just buying time right now.
He'll turn up.
They had a plan. They were like, right, we've got to think of something because they have no idea if Superman's turning up.
Yeah, ever again. Yeah, they don't know.
So they had to come up with a plan, and even though Superman does turn up and batters the shit out of Steppenwolf, lasers his horn off and everything.
That's so cool.
Proper goes to town, doesn't he? He has him pinned down.
I think he would have killed him if he'd have got a chance.
The bad guys still technically win. If it's only for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it shows that actually it's, regardless of it, Superman isn't the one who saved the day. It's the Flash.
Absolutely.
If the Flash wasn't around, the bad guys win. Yeah. And I really liked that. It put more emphasis on the team and more specifically on the younger guys like Cyborg and the Flash. It made them feel so important.
Well, the Crisis on Infinite Earth, the biggest story, like the Infinity War of basically DC, the Crisis on Infinite Earth, the Flash is yet again the one that's, without him, nothing would have. He's one of the most powerful metahumans in existence, the Flash.
I really liked the sequence inside the Mother Box.
I did, mate. I did. They're trying to trick him, weren't they?
They were trying to trick him, and it was that acceptance of who Cyborg was. Like that he had to.
He's not a monster anymore, is he?
Yeah, it's the cheesiest personal story in the world. But
he's
you had to
Frankenstein.
accept. Yeah, you had to accept who he is, what his place in the world is, and what his abilities are. And he was able to defeat whatever code it was, and basically nullify the Mother Box and stop the what's it they called, unification or something like that? Unity, that's it.
Yeah.
I think Assassin's Creed again. But yeah, he manages to stop that, and it's all because you're right, Stig. It's like everyone has their part to play and they all work together.
It's a team,
properly on
isn't
this
it?
one.
It's a fucking team.
Yeah.
Which it really wasn't in the Whedon.
No,
thing.
not
it
at
was
all.
a lot of very disconnected.
It was
characters
Superman and
very
Friends, wasn't
disconnected
it?
Motivations. Yeah,
That's what it was.
Which is always a misconception about the Justice League because it's not. It's to be fair, it's Batman and Friends.
Yeah, it should be.
But
It should be.
Batman always has,
Batman's
always has a
money and friends.
contingency.
Yeah.
Well, bear in mind, Batman did take Superman down, so yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really like that last sequence.
Yes, that was
Such a stark contrast.
When everything kind of resolves itself and the kind of the cubes have been separated, and you get that shot of them stood on the cooling tower looking out over the sunset. I wish the credits had rolled there.
What about the lovely scene where
been perfect.
Superman helps Batman
we'll
up?
get to that.
He's like, "Come on, old man."
Well, yeah,
I love that. I love it when Superman and Batman are
'cause
friends.
it's
makes
a
me
bit of
smile.
After the last time they kind of
Yeah, exactly.
last few times they've been together, they've been enemies.
It's the first time of like I know they weren't shaking hands, but it's the first time he's picked his friend up.
There's been a bit of an olive branch.
Yeah, and I love it. That makes me feel like these nightmare sequences. It's not the ultimate future. It's a possible future.
Yeah, I think that would have been the place to end it.
100%.
They just kind of
100%.
cut to black, send the credits up. Perfect. I would have been much
Hallelujah
happier
on
with
the credits. Done. Job done.
But as we know, they didn't end it there.
No, they did not.
So on comes the epilogue. Right.
Get ready,
Here we
guys.
So this thing has more endings than Return of the King.
Does anything have more endings than
we
that?
start. Cyborg goes home and he repairs the dictaphone that we talked about earlier
Lovely
that he
message.
destroyed. And he gets this really nice message from his father, which kind of plays as over the closing scenes of the team as they all go back and do their own thing.
Yep.
So as each member of the team is kind of going back to their life and doing their own thing, we get this nice kind of message from Silas. That seems like a perfectly good way to end the film, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
We then get a scene where we're in Arkham and we find out that Lex Luthor's
The bells
broken
are
out of
tolling.
Arkham. And then we see Deathstroke arrive on Lex Luthor's boat and Luthor tells him that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Now that, I think, was the post-credit scene in the Whedon version.
It was, yes.
Yeah. That's a really good post-credit scene. That's kind of like if they'd have done the Cyborg ending, had the credits, that's the end scene.
Yep.
Fine, done.
I love Slade Wilson's design in this. Deathstroke.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I don't like Jesse Eisenberg as
No one does.
No one does. He's too young in my opinion.
Yeah, you need a middle-aged man, a bald John Hamm.
Remember when everyone said that Bryan Cranston should have been it just because he was bald and like
No, you just shaved John Hamm's hair off and he'd be perfect.
no, because he was like the hot commodity at the time,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah,
Like
he was,
Breaking
yeah.
Bad, and everyone's like he would be an amazing Lex Luthor. And everyone's like, why? Just because he's bald in Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
to be fair, he'd be a better Lex Luthor than fucking Jesse Eisenberg.
To be fair, he would have been
And-
a great Lex Luthor.
And Jesse Eisenberg is on the title card at the beginning of the film. You don't see him for 238
Isn't he in the film
minutes.
for 2 minutes? The actual-
Well, we'll get to that where we see the Joker in the trailer, and you don't get to him till now.
Yeah.
So we've had that scene.
I think
We
we're going
then
to have a
cut
long
to
discussion on this scene.
a post-apocalyptic world where Batman is teamed up with Cyborg, Mira, Deathstroke, a different Flash.
It's not. It's still Ezra Miller.
Doesn't look like it.
It
to
is
me.
him. It is him. It's in his. It's in his Zoom costume.
Okay.
His face has been aged as well.
It's been
Well,
aged
I'm
up.
wrong there. Apologies. He looked like a different Flash, or maybe
No,
a
it's
different
definitely
dimension there.
It's definitely Barry.
And the Joker.
Yeah.
So the Joker and Batman have a bit of back and forth about everyone around Batman dying. They then kind of discuss how one day they'll kill each other, but they have a truce.
And I will fucking kill you.
And then evil Superman turns up, and Bruce wakes up.
Bear in mind, it's evil Superman in his blue and red suit.
Yes.
Very poignant.
So, Bruce wakes up on a lakeside house, and he obviously hears something, goes outside, and we see Martian Manhunter float down to inform Bruce he's here to help. And the film ends.
I've got quite a bit to discuss here, guys.
I
have quite a bit to discuss here, guys.
didn't like some of this, did like some of this. It left
I
me
didn't like
wanting
any of
more.
this.
I did kind of like, I do want to see that post-apocalyptic
Nightmare, it's called.
world. I want to see that.
Nightmare with a K, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course.
I thought that, we can skip past all the kind of cyborg stuff with the message in the ending. That's a typical, like, everyone's going off.
That's the positive ending, isn't it? That's
the cyborg stuff is not good, but it's fine.
Yeah. The Lex Luthor ending.
I hated that.
Shouldn't be in. It shouldn't be in.
It shouldn't be in, but I feel like that is a setup for a standalone.
Well, it was supposed to be
Batman film.
Deathstroke versus Batman, wasn't it?
Yeah, rather than a Justice League
Deathstroke
film.
doesn't hold a candle to fucking Batman. What a ridiculous team.
I do like Deathstroke's design in this.
It looks incredible.
Yeah, and it's one of the few times where I think they've taken a comic book character's look into like celluloid, and it looks real.
Yeah,
like, it looks practical.
Slade Wilson as a character is a really fucking good PTSD.
Slade.
Yeah.
Still fucking hate Jesse Eisenberg in that. He's sat. Actually, I was talking with Pip about this one because she sat with me for the last hour of the film and she hated it as much as I did.
Uh-huh.
But I think that Jesse Eisenberg would do a half decent Joker. He's got that manicness about him.
Oh no,
and that kind of that nervous energy. But just hear me out. Instead of doing a Lex Luthor, is what I'm saying. I don't think there are many people who could play the Joker much better than Jesse Eisenberg. You've got to fucking shoehorn him into DC. You've got to make him the Riddler or something like that. He's got to play a manic character.
Riddler. It would be a better Riddler.
Well, don't. I just sounded like you said he'd be a Bette Midler.
No, it'd be a better Clayface.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not big on DC, but I know that that's not Lex Luthor.
No, Lex Luthor is the basic. He's basically evil Bruce Wayne.
Well, Lex Luthor for me is the DC equivalent of Kingpin from Marvel. It's that
not as brutal, not as physical, but yeah,
not as physically brutal, but it's that calculating, cold, incredibly wealthy
plan for
man.
everything.
Plan for everything, pulling the strings.
That
in the
is
background,
basically
got
Lex
every
Luthor,
politician on his payroll. Whereas with Jesse Eisenberg, you've got this kind of chattering lunatic, which doesn't work. Like that isn't Lex Luthor.
Real mental health disorder type.
Yeah, this is coming from someone who is not precious about DC properties.
I am.
I know you are, but I'm saying, like, for me, I can tell that this is wrong.
There's only one good role for Jesse Eisenberg, and that was in The Social Network. That were it.
No, I liked him in Zombieland.
He's all right in Zombieland.
Yeah.
But basically, neurotic nerd is what he plays best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not Lex Luthor, ladies' man, billionaire, not a philanthropist,
captain of industry,
capitalist.
Kind of
yeah, like Donald Trump character. Yeah.
But, come on. Let's just pull this fucking plaster off and get straight into the nightmare stuff because I can't take it anymore.
Okay. Let's go to the nightmare scene. Go on, Oodles, you take us away.
Okay, yeah.
This
Oodles,
scene,
you start. I've got to gear up for this.
This scene is wrong. Basically, in the books, the anti-life equation was discovered by Darkseid and not Darkseid, sorry, Dr. Mobius, and Dr. Mobius became the Anti-Monitor. The Anti-Monitor is something that wipes out all sentient existence on any matter, basically.
Like the Halo rings kind of thing.
Basically, yeah. Anti-Monitor is like a super computer robot-looking thing that's bigger than, like, Galactus type thing.
Right, okay, yeah, I'm following you.
Darkseid's long gone by this point, long stopped, and Earth obviously is the next in line. This Earth is not the Earth that the film is set, it's one of the other Earths, because there's infinite Earths, remember? Well, there's 52 Earths.
I think the Joker does mention something about that.
Yeah, he says multiverse.
Yeah, they're not in the Earth that we know.
That's why I'm sure it's a different Flash.
It's not a different Flash, I promise you. It's because of that Flash that we can go to different Earths. So it's just an older Flash, I promise you. And basically, the stuff with Aquaman and Wonder Woman are dead, I'm fine with that. But the fact that this is it's something that Bruce dreams up. In the books, this is something that Martian Manhunter implants into his mind. He's saying this could happen. This is not what's happening. This could happen. And the fact that
the implication is that's what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Martian Manhunter immediately comes, doesn't he, and talks to him. So that could have been that. But what I don't like is the fact that, like, he doesn't explicitly say that the Joker killed Lois Lane, and he does. That's what it's all about. And the Joker also kills one of the Robins, and he also kills the Oracle, Barbara Gordon. You know what I mean? There's no way on Earth that Batman would team up with Joker, even if the world was ending. There's just there'd be no truce. That's what bothers me more than any other part of this. It's like, and he's like, I will fucking kill you. It's like, no, you'd have done it anyway, way before this point. That's what I don't like. And they've shoehorned Jared Leto's Joker, and I don't care. And I don't particularly think he did a bad Joker in that little scene. But what I don't like is the fact that it's like Joker's got all the cards. He's got all the cards. You know what I mean? He's the one that's in control, which is absolute batshit. There's no way. Like he's like, we're best friends, Bruce. That's something the Joker says a lot, but it's, and he's wearing some kind of like police uniform, isn't he, or something?
Oh,
it's like a prison uniform with police armor.
Yeah,
he's clearly taken, because if you notice, he's got loads of police badges on him.
Yeah,
so he's obviously pinned all the badges of the police he's killed.
I know it's supposed to be a dream sequence and stuff like that, but it's just, in my opinion, it's just thematically wrong. And if this is Zack Snyder's take of saying this is what could happen if you'd have let me get hold of this property and carry on, it just irks me a little bit because it's just so much wrong. And I know you're allowed to change things, like they changed Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man, they changed the fact that he can walk in it, for God's sake, and just simple things like that. It's just, I don't know, there's too many liberties. It seems like fan service.
But
not the fans of the comics.
Yeah, I purely think that Jared Leto's Joker was put in there simply for fan service.
Yeah, to sell Birds of Prey and stuff. He's way better.
He's better.
I mean, he's better than what he was in Suicide Squad, but that whole sequence, and I know it's a dream, it's a nightmare, but the way that conversation doesn't flow because it's very difficult to follow because the two of them are talking kind of
about things that we've not seen, though.
About things we've not seen, about things that we've not seen.
I know what he's done.
Information about.
Yeah, it's not fair. I don't think it's fair on the viewer. I don't think it's fair.
I know exactly why he's done it though, because he's put it there. I mean, the balls on the guy to put this stuff in there and go.
I think it's balls.
And literally get his fans to go, and people. He's got me wanting to see more with a couple of those endings. And
yeah,
you can imagine the people who are really into this are going to really want this. And if it's been the talk of Twitter since it came out, nearly every single day, have a look at what's trending. There's something to do with this film or like spin-offs and stuff. It's got people's attention. If
I do like how soft-spoken he is.
If it sells HBO, gets them a load of money, gets Warner Bros. A load of money, of course they'll come back to this. And he's put that on there on purpose to get people wanting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely pointless sequence because it doesn't add anything to anything.
And it's a potential future. That's the thing that bothers me. And it's not our Earth.
I think
it was the peril.
But none of that's explained either.
No.
It's just shown as a
implied,
dream
isn't
sequence.
it? It's implied.
Yeah. It's not even implied. It's just a fucking ruined city in a desert with a Mad Max aesthetic, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Batman looking like an absolute cunt in that outfit. I'm sorry,
the
but
just
Bat the duster with maintaining the cowl. Everyone knows who you are. Just the world's ended. Take the fucking mask off,
there isn't a world anymore.
Yeah, you've got Mira following him. She's pointless. There's no fucking water around. You're in a desert.
She doesn't have the same powers as Aquaman either.
Yeah, you've got Old Man Flash, you'll probably bust a knee if he starts running.
Run, Barry.
And then you've got the Joker acting like everyone else is following him because he's the one that's got Batman wrapped around his little fucking
Slade
finger.
Wilson that hasn't aged again.
Oh yeah, Slade Wilson. What's he done? He's had a fucking haircut.
He's got no powers. He's just a human.
Yeah.
Oh, so is Batman.
Yeah, but we don't know what his hair looks like. We don't know what he looks like under the cowl. That's the difference.
Yeah, and it's layer upon layer of stupidity, and then this conversation between Batman and the Joker. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more it's just reminding me how angry it made me because it's a 8-minute conversation that goes nowhere.
Is that how long it is?
Yeah. Oh, it's long.
I'm sure it's about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long conversation because it's not structured and doesn't flow as a conversation. It's a dream. Fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
But because the Joker keeps talking in riddles and about all this stuff that is supposedly happened that we don't know about, and how him and Batman we're the same,
we're best friends,
and it's like it's all that thing. It's all recycled Joker dialogue from other incarnations of the Joker because the Joker will always say we're one and the same.
Yeah,
You're
two
my
sides
best
of a
friend.
coin and that. Yeah.
Two sides of a coin. One of us is going to kill the other. Every single Joker has said that since fucking Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And it's just recycled fan servicey
It is
bullshit.
fan service, but not in the good way. Not like the proper, pure comic fans.
The only you're right, Stig. The only reason that's in there is so that he could put Jared Leto in the trailer, and that's exactly why
he knows he's going to get another 70 million, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's exactly why it's structured as Jared Leto being the last new character introduced into this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
At least he doesn't say that we live in a society line. They took
Oh,
that
I'm
out.
so glad they fucking took that out, because I saw that in the trailer. I got legitimately angry because I thought, no, you can't do that because the fucking neckbeards will be up in fucking arms.
4chan will explode.
Oh god, it'll be 8chan as well. Oh god, but yeah, it's just such a pointless, irredeemable sequence. That entire epilogue didn't need to exist. If you wanted to take sequences back, you could take the Cyborg bit and end it on Cyborg. He's, as you said, he's effectively the main character.
He is the main character in this film, yeah. And then they just kill him off in the dream.
You could have kept the fucking the Deathstroke bit on the boat to being a
mid-credits.
Mid-credit scene.
Yeah. Mid-credits.
Yeah.
And then
It's
the
a 2-minute sequence.
Martian Manhunter is the post-credit.
Yeah.
Post-credit.
Yeah, without the dream.
You don't need the dream sequence.
Yep.
Or even if you just had the tiniest bit of the dream sequence where it's Batman in the desert and he turns around and there's just a flash of Jared Leto's Joker and he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a much more impactful thing, because I like the idea of exploring the idea of Batman having PTSD from everything that he's seen.
Which is a thing that, it has been done.
Yeah, it's a thing that I know it's a thing that happens in the comics, and it's kind of it's implied in Arkham Knight as well. There's a lot of PTSD trauma stuff in Arkham Knight.
Well.
So great, do that. That's fine. Batman at this point, he's early 50s at this point. Like, he's coming towards the end of his abilities.
It's when he has to stop being Batman and create Batman Incorporated.
Exactly. Yeah,
many Batmans.
Like, he has seen so much stuff that he will be traumatized.
He's lost everybody.
The Joker is likely to be the most traumatic thing he's ever encountered. So
100%.
Great. Have a little 1-minute sequence of him in the desert, turn around, see the Joker, wake up, cold sweat, Martian Manhunter, end credits. Fine, give me that.
Yeah,
I want that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Don't give me 8 minutes of metaphysical bullshit
Of something that
with a second-rate Joker that didn't need to be there.
I agree. It's pointless.
Sorry, I'm very protective of the Joker, because I think the Joker's been done so many better ways.
Yeah.
Like, Jared Leto's Joker makes me irrationally angry for a multitude of reasons. One, that reminds me Suicide Squad existed. Two, it reminds me he was in it.
Just think back to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, Heath Ledger's Joker, Mark Hamill's Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker. They're all very different takes on the character.
And the Joker from the film, The Joker as well. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. All very different takes on the character. But all very brilliant takes on the character.
Remember, he's damaged. He's got damaged on his head.
But he doesn't in this one. How do we know he's damaged?
That's true.
He's just got white makeup.
How do we know he's damaged?
I bet if he lifts his shirt, it doesn't even say Joker across his stomach.
Or gangster on his belly button or whatever it says.
I hated the way
Purple Lamborghini.
Gangster Joe.
So I'm getting irrationally angry about that ending sequence. But yeah, it was something that...
There is one line that I liked, where he says, I had Harley Quinn in my arms, and the last thing she says before she bled out on me was that I have to kill you slowly, and I will fucking kill you. And then Joker looks at him for a split, and he goes, "You're good. You're really good." It's like he actually scared the Joker for a split second. Then Joker's like, "Nah, fuck it. I'm not scared anymore."
I will say that is a line I liked, but yeah, the entire epilogue sequence is 28 minutes or something like that. It's about half an hour long.
Oh yeah.
Didn't need to be there.
No, it didn't.
There's none of that.
I think, as you said, Martian Manhunter could have been the scene where we first see the Martian Manhunter. Floats down. Hello.
That would be better.
Hello, I'm John John. And the fact that he says, some people call me the Martian Manhunter. No, that's your job. Nobody calls you. What's your name? If somebody said to you, Gadget, what's your name? I am the sound engineer.
I have a big problem with that last scene anyway, but I like the idea of this nightmare world. I do kind of want to see that in a way. I don't think
you need to read some good comics, mate. I'll send you some over, pal.
I like the idea of this kind of like seeing what happens where that goes.
You'd like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
You guys have touched on that enough, and I'm just going to mention this final scene. So Bruce Wayne has spent the better part of the last 4 years or so dealing with and fighting aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then one of them floats down to his lake house.
Yeah.
No issue with that.
Yeah.
The guy then tells him, some people call me Martian Manhunter. No issue with that.
Well, you wouldn't have.
What the fuck's going on?
You know what a
It's
manhunter is, don't you? A bounty hunter.
Yeah, but when you're a man and an
No,
alien
no.
floats down and
Floats down
tells
in front
you,
of you.
I am a manhunter.
No,
you're
no.
like,
Batman's
No,
clever.
he-
He knows he's just a Martian
no,
bounty
easy
hunter.
fuck. He spent the last 4 or so years dealing with aliens and beings coming down. I'm sorry, but his instant reaction wouldn't just be to stand there and smile and be like, oh, do you want to join the team? Nice one.
No, I don't think. I don't think. Especially with John Jones's powers of like.
He should have revealed himself as being. That should have been the reveal of Martian Manhunter. He should have come to Bruce as the general.
Yeah, because he knows
And
him.
then-
Yeah, you're right. He knows him.
And then turned into the.
I've got a
into
secret
Martian-
to let you know. Yeah, guess who?
Yeah,
Guess who
and
I
then
am.
turned into the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, that
That's
would have been
how
better.
that should have been done.
That would have been
Not
better.
him blindsiding with Bruce Wayne after he's just had a nightmare and being all like, I'm an alien.
I wish I looked that good when I woke up as well. Whew.
Yeah.
He looks so good in that Ben
Perfectly
Affleck.
coiffed grey hair.
It looks so good. But yeah, I think what it is to put my final pin on that bit is this was supposed to be the big thing. Like there's that scene where they go to the Hall of Justice before it's the Hall of Justice and says, "Yeah, there's enough for six chairs," and Wonder Woman goes, "And room for more." Because remember, there's 10 members of the Justice League. There's 10 members eventually.
Oh, God, the fucking delivery on that dialogue.
Yeah,
was so bad.
I think Gal Gadot is so hit and miss sometimes. She's like, "And room for some more."
Some of her dialogue is atrocious.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
it was in Fast and Furious. So
She in Fast and Furious?
yeah, she was.
It's number 5, 6, I think. Yeah.
That's where I first ever saw her. I went, "Oh, hello."
5 and 6, I think she's in. Yeah.
Fair enough. Didn't know.
Anyway, so that's it. That is the end of the film.
And we get to listen to Hallelujah again.
Oh, fuck, yes, I forgot about that.
I didn't watch the credits. So.
I did in case there was something else on it.
Oh,
So-
but it's not even a good version. It's this weird instrumental version.
Yeah, it's not Leonard Cohen, is it?
No, it started playing and like I was complaining to Pip about it, just like explaining like the bullshit that I just seen, and then I'm just the music in the back of me mind is just going. It's like, oh, this is fucking.
I believe.
Hallelujah.
I know. We're ragging on it, but I believe it's something to do with autumn. That obviously the tragedy that his family had to go through, because the film was dedicated to her. And I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's autumn singing, but I think it's something to do with maybe that person's favourite version of it. I know there's some. It's still a bad choice. It's still not good. And I think every musical choice in this film is wank.
Yeah, some of the
What
actual
happened to
like,
Icky Thump?
Icky Thump's not in this. It's in the original. It's in the Whedon cut. They change Icky Thump with something else.
Where's the Yorkshire connection?
Oh, that's it.
even the
Bag or
like,
Mickey Thump.
original score was just used wrong at times.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
We've touched on the chanting, the Wonder Woman theme. That should have been used in that final battle with Steppenwolf, not this. Like,
But Superman in Man of
Just
in Man of
like,
Steel and Batman vs Superman. Superman has a really cool of his own theme, and that barely gets used.
Did they even use the Superman theme?
No.
That moment where he flies up to the sun is a perfect moment to put the Superman theme
Exactly,
in. Why is it not used?
Which is used. It canonically always gets used in any Superman
Why does that
thing.
not get used?
It gets used in the cartoons, for fuck's sake, and Smallville.
I think
That's a great scene. I think that looks really good.
I
Where he
do.
puts his fist on the floor and the rocks
the
shake,
gravity's pushing.
and he shoots up,
Yeah.
and he's there with his arms stretched out, taking in the rays of the sun.
Or that scene where it's like the Superman theme, but like in minor chords, where do you know he gets blasted by that nuke and he's dying, and then the Superman theme's playing, but like a minor version of it. It sounds so fucking cool.
The one thing that stands out to me is the fact that something doesn't stand out, and the score doesn't stand out to me
It's
at
the
all.
worst. I genuinely think the
most-
score's the worst part of this film.
I don't think the score's bad, but I had to concentrate to hear it, and I don't
boring.
remember any of it.
Just boring.
It's the pop songs and the kind of the license tracks that they put in
Wank.
there. They're the most offensive part of it. Like I joked at the beginning, that fucking slow-mo introduction to Lois Lane. There's some pop song singing under that, and I can't remember what it was, but just God Almighty.
So just think of it in this terms.
Music videos. Aren't
Oh
they?
yeah, this film is DC's version of the first Avengers film, Marvel's Avengers. Just think how much better the score is in that film from 10 years ago.
Well,
It's so much better.
There are no themes to remember apart from that Wonder Woman kind of thing.
It's so weird.
Other than Wonder Woman's actual like Hans Zimmer theme.
Yeah.
Like,
But that only gets used like once.
It gets used like twice, once or twice.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get used in the right parts because they keep putting that fucking chanting in instead.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
there's no thematic thread that runs through the music and the background of the score through the film. Like, I know we keep comparing it back to it, but take an Avengers film.
It's the obvious comparison,
You've always got Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme motif running out throughout the film. You get a minor version when there's something sad going on. You get a fucking bombastic version when the action's kicking off. Like, I mean, we had the music episode not so long ago. Stig, there's no portals in this one.
No, there isn't. There isn't that lump in your throat moment.
No,
there's no.
And music
moment of
music in cinema is one of the most important aspects, in my opinion.
The team should have a theme.
Yeah.
There should be a theme that people go away with.
That's the Justice League theme.
And they hear it and they go, that's the Justice League theme. Yeah. Like you would with the Avengers.
My kids know the Avengers theme, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so did mine. My daughter knew it before we even started watching the films.
That's what I mean. It's like, come on.
Yeah. And
right.
There isn't a Justice League theme. There isn't anything that helps with that.
There is
just link you to scenes.
The weird thing is there is a Lex Luthor theme.
I don't remember it.
Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. It does that, and it's like they used it in Batman vs Superman, and it's a good theme. But why has he got a good theme, but nobody else has got a good theme? He's one of the worst characters in it.
Well, those themes though are being reused from earlier films, like with the Wonder Woman theme. You know, it's like there's none of the original music written for this film is any good.
Yeah, I agree. And why Batman got a cool fucking theme?
Batman does have a cool theme. That's the point. He needs that. Where's the Bat theme in there?
Yeah, no, Batman.
Right. So we're going to end the podcast in a minute. We're just going to do some quick overall thoughts that I had before we do. I found the second half to be a lot better than the first half. I found myself taking a lot less notes because I was enjoying things more than I was in the first half. There was a lot less that I needed to take notes of because I didn't find them as stupid. There were still things I didn't enjoy, but overall thought it was better. I thought Flash and Cyborg were serviced so much better in this. Absolutely. Way better. They actually got characters, and they're actually integral to the outcome.
It makes you want to watch the follow-up films of them.
But I do feel like Aquaman was underutilized plot-wise.
Yep.
He was mainly there to...
My man!
Look amazing and
he did look good
and fight. Yeah, so he did his job well, but he didn't really have much character. Steppenwolf.
Sorry. The one thing that they took out my favorite Aquaman moment from the Whedon cut, which is when the first time he sees Batman and he's like, just like a bat, I can dig it.
Yeah,
it's like they took that out. So that's a really funny moment.
They kept my man in though. That's good.
My man.
That's good.
Sorry.
Steppenwolf, I think we all agree, is much better as a villain in this. Even if you have issues with the way he looks, his motivations, the way he sounds,
not pathos to
everything. I think
an actual character.
He's an actual character. Yeah, he has motivations. I do think personally he looks better. I don't think the design is great.
It looks like something from Mortal Kombat.
He looks a lot better than the version they had, which just looked like a Play-Doh on someone's face.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's his armor that I take issue with. Like the design of his face and the horns and the kind of his body structure and stuff like that looks much better.
I don't like how the horns are part of his body though. That fucking bothers me.
No, I thought that was part of his armor. I said to Kate when we were watching it, I was like, how does he sleep? Like, how could you put your head down if you had like massive horns?
Well, he's
like
not
that?
sleeping on his side, is it?
No, he must have to like suspend himself.
Well, think about it this way: a giraffe can't lay on its back.
True. Yeah, but yeah, I like the design of his face and his overall body structure and stuff like that. Like that kind of design.
I like his extra fun.
He looked more menacing as well. I think he came across harder.
The shimmering armor didn't do it for me. Like the kind of the moving plate.
It's like a glitter
armor.
ball suit, isn't it, from Mighty Boosh?
Yeah, I think if they'd given him a more solid suit of armor, I think that would have made him. If they'd basically taken the armor that he had in the original and just made it
Why
bit
couldn't they just
extra?
give him red and blue armor like he's supposed to wear?
All that,
Because you know
It has to look edgy. That's why.
yeah.
But yeah. Aside from everything, he was much better in this.
Way better.
I think we differ slightly on this. Maybe with the dark side cliffhanger, I actually want to see that.
I don't.
I want to see a conclusion to this.
I don't.
I don't know whether the. It's left me wanting more, to be honest.
Darkseid's not a good enough baddie. Superman should be the baddie.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They could do
They
that.
don't need Darkseid for it.
He's planted the seeds for that, and I'd like to see that. I'm not precious about the comics because I have no affinity with them. I've never read them. I've just watched cartoons. And,
if they make Darkseid take over Superman with the anti-life equation, I'll accept that.
That's what it's pointing towards. That's what it feels like they're going for.
I suppose it does,
makes me
doesn't
want it makes me want to see that. I do want to see it. And like I say, I think Zack Snyder's got some balls in him to put that in the film, knowing that people are going to really call for it. So
I'd love Zack Snyder to go, guess what? I'm not following this up. I'm doing the Russian Superman story. We're doing Red Sun.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
That's just come out, actually.
Has it? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
Red Sun's
cartoon.
so good.
Yeah, animated version that's just come out last
Imagine
year.
him fighting for the Soviets.
So, overall, we all think it is better than the 2017 film.
Yep. If I were to put a number on it, I think the original film is a 1 out of 5, and this one is a 3.5 out of 5.
I would go with 1 out of. I did give it a 2 out of 5 originally, the Justice League.
Yeah, but in context now,
the more I think about it, it is just a 1 out of 5
it's a dead
incoherent
film.
mess. This is a 3 out of 5 for me.
Yep.
It's a coherent mess. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. There's more to it, but it fucking should do because it's 4 hours long. And I think it is a better film. There are things I don't like about it. There's a lot of Zack Snyder's.
All the slow-mo could be taken
the
out.
stuff that he does too much in his films is there, but he does have an eye for certain things.
Can we
that are
talk
a lot
about
of
the
scenes
colour
that look really good.
palette before we disappear? Because I think it looks better than the colour palette of the original. The Whedon cut. The Whedon cut's really colourful, isn't it, and bright, and I like the.
It should be bright in places.
No, but I like the
It doesn't have to be
muted. I
dark.
like the muted palette on this one. It's DC, remember? It's not Marvel.
It works in certain sections, but sometimes it's a bit too much.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, for me, this is a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Gadget? I know you sounded a lot more upbeat on it as we
It's the
talked
second half,
about
isn't it? It's better.
The second half is better. The thing is, the original is a 1 out of 5, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
This one, I'm somewhere between a 1.5 and a 2 out of 5 because for every
Wow.
because the thing is for all the good stuff that is in there and the improved stuff that there is in there is a lot of stuff that I really genuinely hate. And for me, this is basically, and I've used this gag several times, but this is the biggest cinematic wanker I've ever encountered.
Oh, it's a wank indeed.
Because it is so self-indulgent.
Yeah.
It is all. I think this is the zenith of all of Zack Snyder's worst impulses.
Yeah.
I think for all that there is stuff I like in this, none of it's exciting. I think it's a very dull film. I think it's a very boring film. I think there is a lot of plodding dialogue, a lot of exposition scenes that don't need to exist. For instance, Wonder Woman and Alfred making tea together. What the fuck? It doesn't add anything to anybody.
You put the water in first.
Yeah, but the point is that sequence doesn't
Why is he
add anything
telling?
to the
Why
film.
is he telling like 105,000
5,000-year-old woman?
Is she that? Why is he telling her how to make tea?
She
Exactly.
existed before tea existed.
Yeah. So all of these things kind of get wrapped up in themselves and wrapped up in the Snyder hype. And this is a film that would be I would rate a lot higher if there was an editor with a red pen just pulling some shit out.
Isn't
of there.
the producer his wife? So she's like, yeah, Zach,
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah. There is a very good 3-hour film in there.
There is a good 3-hour film in there.
I think if you take a lot of the slow motion sequences out, tweak a few of them, like the Flash's introduction creepiness.
Slow-mo should be
that.
utilised for the Flash and the Flash only in this.
Yeah, or for a particularly badass action shot.
Yeah.
Like, say, for instance, when Wonder Woman beheads Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Slow-mo the shit out of that.
Or,
I
I think when Superman, we didn't mention it, when he actually comes into the fight, Steppenwolf is bringing his axe down, and Superman comes in, and it hits him on the shoulder.
It hits the shoulder.
It hits his shoulder, and he just looks, and he just kind of shakes his head.
Doesn't he say something like, "I'm disappointed in you" or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
And then he just blows cold air onto the axe, and it shatters. That's a good slow mo of it. Use.
You can pick out a lot of these things that Zack Snyder's put in that are great.
We can take the 10-minute chanting of the Norwegian women out.
Yeah, you can take shit like that out. You can take a lot of the Lois Lane sequences out of there because
the world needs Lois Lane.
The Martian Manhunter can reveal is stupid.
Should have been a stinger at the end.
Should have been a stinger at the end, or done in a different way. Like, there is so much stupid and unnecessary bullshit in this film. I can't really say it's any more than a 2 out of 5. It's improved. Like, don't get me wrong, it is significantly improved from the Whedon cut.
70 million improved.
Oh fuck no. Well, also the thing is, a lot of improvements you can make to the Whedon version were actually cutting it down because there was stuff in the Whedon film that didn't make sense.
They didn't do the run with the race with Superman and Flash either, did they? At the end.
No. Yeah, I don't think it's a good film. I think it's a better film than it was.
I think it is a good film.
I struggle with it, and I am absolutely not interested in anything Zack Snyder's got planned. Like, or anything that he's
303. Watchmen 2.
If he wants to go for the rest of his career making sequels to 300,
Sucker
fine,
Punch
go
2.
do that. At least you know what to expect with that bullshit. Oh God, no. I
like 300.
I like 300.
I like 300.
You didn't like 300 too, did you?
Was great. 300 was perfect for what it was.
He didn't do that though.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't do the sequel. But 300, I thought was a great film, and
but that's
a perfect Zack Snyder.
It's because it's panel for panel the same as the book. That's why it's a good film.
Yeah, effectively, he didn't write it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a perfect Zack Snyder film because it's a very action-oriented, interesting color palette, that kind of thing. You know, he invented a lot of stuff for that film.
Yeah, CGI pecs.
Yeah, fine, do that kind of thing. But when it comes to architecting something like this, like he hasn't. And this is also, I think, a fault of DC as well. DC don't have the chops that Marvel have for building these interconnected stories.
You shouldn't do it that way, I don't think. I think there should be just single things.
But DC are trying to.
I know.
Trying to say,
it's a universe.
Marvel's doing that. I want to do that.
I think
they should
do what they did with Joaquin Phoenix and just have one-offs. Like this new Robert Pattinson, the Batman. They've said that's going to be a one-off.
I'm excited for that.
It looks incredible because you know there's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah. Joker worked well because it was a low budget, interesting
just
story.
One off in it. It's a one off, but
yeah,
obviously they tried to
filmed and focused around one actor, and there was hardly any CGI in it.
Yeah, I like the one offs. I obviously I didn't like Justice League, not just Suicide Squad. That was supposed to be a one off, but it became oh my god.
Oh yeah, the next one of that comes out next year or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but I trust that one more. Being honest,
it's different though, isn't it?
Who's in charge?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we could. We're going to get on too much talking about future projects and stuff here.
This was only supposed to be an hour. Fuck.
Yeah,
it's a Zack Snyder hour.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
we've taken half the runtime.
If people speed this up, it will be an hour.
I was going to say, well, we reached chapter 4 at this point.
Yeah. I knew it was going to take a while, but I really enjoyed that, dissecting that and talking about that because we can talk about these things on forums and on our Discord and things like that, but you never really get a chance to just sit and shoot the shit about the film and what you liked and what you didn't. And yeah, so I really like that. I'm going to end that here. I hope that everyone enjoyed listening to that. Hopefully we will do more spoiler specials going forward for big films. And I just want to say thank you to Gadget and Oodles for doing this with me. And
no worries.
Check out Modern Escapism regular episodes every Thursday. And goodbye.